Good evening, folks. Thank you for joining us again for Savannah by Night, Episode 4. As has been discussed prior, everyone has the tools and means to stop play if at any time they're uncomfortable, or they need to forward through a scene, or edit, gloss over it entirely. We will discuss that as needs be. Because this can be a dark, moody, and at times uncomfortable game. So we want to make sure that each and every member of the cast is comfortable and having a good time, regardless of whatever world of darkness shenanigans we happen to be engaging with. Because the point is fun, not edgelord bullshit. Now, for announcements, I have nothing new other than we have D&D on Tuesday with our Age of Myth Greek-themed game, where things are about to get even more hectic in pre-Hellenic Sparta. Someone's probably about to get kicked in the chest a lot of times. Considering one of the cast members is a monk, that could happen. Looking at you, Dreamy.
Yep.
Cave in via foot kicking. chest cavity cave in via kick.
And then we are back on Wednesday with more Vampire the Masquerade. Does anyone have any links or announcements that they want to pop in?
Happy early birthday, Tabby.
Yay,
Thank you.
birthday!
Saturday, kicking us off into Virgo season.
Yes, Virgo.
That's it.
Okay. Well, happy birthday, Tab.
You couldn't see me doing this because my mic was in the way. Making things invisible.
Upstage hand. Come on, actor.
Nope.
It's like you're trying to do obfuscate or something as a Nosferatu. I'm digging this commitment to the bit. So unless there's anything that anybody wants to bring up, I would say in the chat you should have our socials, our Discord if you want to see more events and keep up with us and look for art and all the other things. And there's a table banter section of our Discord if you want to ask questions that we can't get to in chat tonight. However, in the meantime, let's tell a vampire story, shall we? Last time on Savannah by Night. The neonates awoke to a new night in the stone cottage, nestled within the expansive grounds of Wormslow. They were provided a light snack to start the evening off with, but it was becoming abundantly clear that they would have to start providing their own meals soon enough. They were, however, informed that cars would be arriving for them shortly after sunset for one last round of formal necessities before they would be left to their own devices. For now, anyway. As they began to finally talk among themselves without the stresses of their courtly introductions weighing on them, Tabby began to explore the grounds immediately outside the cottage. There she saw another person tending to a greenhouse and its proximate garden. Tabby informed the others of her discovery, and the group made their collective introductions. It became clear that this was another kindred, Olivia Moore of Clan Shamir, as she knew who everyone else was. Seemingly, she was there during the prior night's escapades, or simply, news travels fast. However, before they could get to know her much better, Atherton rounded them up to go back to the main house of Elysium. What awaited them was not more high-wire introductions, but rather 2 individuals that would help sort out their secure phones and expertly crafted IDs so that they could exist legally on paper and in the system should they need to. Edward, the primary individual seemingly responsible for spearheading this, never revealed his clan. However, his partner in felony forgery crime, Lila, was an obvious Nosferatu. But not the sort that some of these neonates were used to seeing. Boisterous, impish, living out loud. Or at least, living out lewd. Lila took her clanmate out for a spin in a relatively fancy car, the goal of giving Tabby a much, much needed makeover. Kate, meanwhile, was escorted by Sokolov to her new home in the heart of the city. After giving him a tour, she turned her designs to more immediate concerns. Artem, Cora, and Poppy decided to stick together for the evening. Artem, however, got the bright idea to check in with his primogen about being a certain fellow gangrel's mutual chaperone. As we pick up with the intent of our young kindred venturing out on their first hunt in a new city, I would like to stress one thing. You are now responsible for keeping track of your blood pool, your hunger. A great many actions you take, from simply awakening each night to mimicking the beat of a living heart, warming your skin as you try to appear human, not to mention some of your supernatural talents. All of it costs in blood. Each of you has a set amount of blood you can store within your bodies at any given time, and you cannot exceed it. But it is always ticking down. Act accordingly. Now, we pick up with Tabby and Lila just after they have left the little makeover session at a nondescript clothing store at a part of town that is always dark. As they stream through the roads, perhaps for the first time in a long time, the Tabby can enjoy a car, tinted windows, not having to worry about anyone looking in, but being able to look out easily. If she so chooses, she can enjoy the streets, the lights, people watch, without fear of being seen. What are you thinking right now?
Tabby is doing just that. Riding in this car that she has not for a good amount of time longer than she's been dead. It is a rekindling of the memory of better times. And it feels like there's more opportunities that perhaps now more so than ever, there is indeed the opportunity for betterment and improvement rather than just bearing with the circumstances and trying not to die. She is looking out at the lights and dressed in her new uniform, which is far from fancy. Definitely not anything close to what the uh, outfit that Petra, the very well dressed Nosferatu, had been swathed in. English. uh, Tabby, for once, is not wearing horrible discarded clothing. Her fashion sense could use some work, but it covers her, as is most important. It covers almost every feature of her body. She has a pair of gloves to cover her long, bent fingers. She has a long sleeve striped shirt that covers her also misshapen torso and arms, and not quite baggy, but fairly loose fitting black pants, and very decent footwear that is big enough to, uh, as with everything else, her feet are very misshapen and it's not even the same size.
I was about to say, for gloves and shoes, she probably has to just get two different sizes.
Oh, yeah. She also has wrapped a scarf around her neck that is clearly too bulked up. But if she drapes it over her head, is able to more fully conceal at least all the most obvious parts of her vampiric curse, her very apparent masquerade breaking appearance. But she is, while she's not really felt warm or hot since being dead, she does feel slightly weighed down, but is happy and is trying to balance the mentality between trying to think of how to use this opportunity and like come up with questions for her clanmate and tour guide who has helped her thus far, and also just the constant pull of enjoy this. Just you're going to have to work for the rest of eternity. It's okay to be here and not be on currently. But she's trying to be on.
So because you described how she's bundled up, I feel it's necessary to provide some juxtaposition to just re-describe what Lila is wearing. Dark jeans, a black sleeveless zip-up hoodie with the hood down, and a perpetually wet look leather jacket that's been manually cut into a bolero style. But the back of it is jagged as if she was trying to make teeth. And to cap this image off, she's fully wearing aviators at night in a car with tinted windows that's all black with purple underglow now that she has left the confines of a dark part of the city and is driving through the actual heart of Savannah. Now she has a destination in mind. We can jump to that, or you can ask her questions here, if you have any.
The only immediate one that has been forefront of the constant reminding of You need to not be ignoring things. You need to be thinking. You need to use this moment. The thing that keeps coming to the forefront that she eventually speaks up about is food,
Hmm.
and as a long-term method. And she approaches the subject with Lila. Lila, do you use dating apps? Not for dating.
Well,
Well, great if you do. But I won't be coy. I have an idea. If I were to
those are
get
dangerous.
someone's, I gotta start having them myself. Uh, if I made enough profiles on enough apps and just started casting and invited whomever to the most obvious red flag, isolated, dangerous part of town, most people will say no. Good for them. But a decent number of people won't. And if I can do it right, I don't know, but it sounds like a decent way to pop out from behind a tree, boom, and if they enjoy it well enough, might message them afterwards. They never saw my face. Be like, "Oh, that was a wonderful night. You want to do it again?"
There's this pause across her features before that slow blossoming split face smile. That is hilarious, but a lot of extra steps for the same thing we're about to go do without having to do all of that.
Sure.
I mean, if you want to make a game out of it, I'll fucking help that because that's hilarious.
Excellent.
I mean, if you want to set it up that way, that's a fun Sunday evening. But in terms of just getting a meal, we don't gotta be fucking Toreador. We don't gotta play games. We could just go get wherever the fuck we want when we want it.
I would love that.
Oh, I'm gonna teach you all the things.
Please do.
But now,
But I do
here's
want
a
to push. I do want to pursue that.
we'll look into it.
We'll look into it.
It's not priority,
No.
but it's fucking funny.
Yeah.
But let's get you on the training wheels first before we push you down the cliff, okay?
That sounds great.
Okay. So I'm gonna take you to a spot. Some of us like to go there on occasion. And by occasion I mean a lot. Because we got a lot of access to it, and we're the kind of people that could fit in real good there. A lot of people kind of look like us without really meaning to, because life did that to them for us. They try to huddle up, they usually try to wear, well, kind of like you. They like to wear layers, hide their face a little bit. Sometimes it's because they're cold, sometimes it's because of shame, sometimes it's a bit of both. And that fucking works for us. You
I
ready?
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I gotta warn you, there are no adventures, so this won't fucking matter to you. They're not what you might call um pedigree meals.
Ain't never tasted one of those.
Okay, we're
Well,
gonna okay, new plan. New plan.
it was
Okay.
poetic.
You,
Technically,
your catfish fun? That could be fun, but I think we need to get you just like a human steak so that you know what that's like.
yes, please.
We're not gonna do that now, but we're gonna sort you out. Okay.
All right. Cool. I'm for it.
As she's driving along, do you have any other questions for her? Or does this devolve to idle banter?
The only other question that,
Mhm.
with the excitement of this immediate project to start
Mhm.
working on, uh, Tabby tentatively asks this. When it's a clan thing to trade in information, and I was told by Mason that it's kind of expected to, if you're asking for something, you got to give something. And I don't have much, so I'm afraid to ask stuff.
What do you
Well,
want? What?
well, that's it. I. How do you recommend get? I don't know what they would ask of me. I don't know if even I imagine it's not great for me to be like, "What do you want for this information?" Because then they can ask literally anything. Is there like a good like floor, a way to know like, hey, this information's like valuable. So rather than prompting them with asking me for anything, I can kind of assume that something's valuable inherently.
Oh, so you want to get into that game? Okay, so y- you can't just be like, "Hey, I know this," because
Right.
you've told them you know that. It loses value. So you got to just like collect little things, like and treat them like pocket change, okay? And then when you want to know something, and they go, "What are you going to give me for it?" "I'll trade you two of these and one of these for that," depending on what it is. And then you start haggling. Sometimes it's not just about the things you know, but maybe like, okay, I'll do this small little favor. But if
Okay.
you do favors, okay? You got to pay attention. Don't just put yourself in the dumbass position of, I will owe you one. That's fucking stupid. Okay, what you got to do is you spell out what it is that they want you to do then and there. None of this open-ended bullshit. Okay, that's how you get yourself in trouble. That's how you are minding your own business, catfishing some schmuck on a Sunday night like you planned. You're about to sink your teeth, get a good meal, and ring ring. Fucks your whole night up. You don't want that, right?
Right.
So get them to spell it out.
Get the details before anything's traded. Gotcha.
Otherwise, you just set yourself up for a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, I'd rather not have that happen immediately.
A good plan.
Be nice to make use of this immortality thing for a bit.
I mean, I'm doing great.
It's probably gauche to ask you how long you've been here.
She kind of just puts a like driver glove hand, like fingertip against your lips, like, shh, we were having a good time. Why you gotta ruin it?
Tabby kind of smiles around the glove and says, just seeing what I can get for free.
And she flicks your nose as hard as she can. Yeah, that was the cost, asshole.
Oh,
Here I am, gonna take you out for a nice meal. A meal.
I appreciate it.
And as you're huddling with your nose,
Ow.
she does kill the underglow and some of the other running lights, except for the expected headlights. And as you do get closer to what appears to be an overpass for the off-ramp of a highway, she pulls off the side of the road into the brush, gets out, and that's when she pulls the hoodie up.
Shouldn't have had my gloves on first. I can see it's fine. It's very thin.
A fucking beekeeper. Great. Okay, we're gonna.
Well, by try to be presentable.
Yeah,
You said we're not
we're
supposed
just
to be
gonna go with it.
Toreador.
Doesn't mean we're assholes. Come on, like a little bit. Just like hunch down.
Every part of me is gross, trying to hide most of it.
There. Fuck it. We're doing it live, okay? So describe the little spots. Beneath the off-ramp from the Harry S. Truman Parkway, where it meets President Street, there lies beneath its shadow a homeless encampment. A ramshackle smattering of tents and cardboard, rusted, broken shopping carts, and all manner of absconded with materials. There are the expected garbage cans being used to both light and weakly attempt to warm the space. Graffiti-covered support columns follow a curve that disappears into the brush, the unhoused community huddling beneath the uncaring concrete above. You, specifically, would know better than most that when storms run through, these are the types of areas that often feel it first and worst. Before you walk over there, you knew before you left the clothing store that you had a slight mission. You were going to burn your clothes. So you could either burn them or donate them here if you wish. They might be mucky, but someone might find a use for them. The other option to consider, one of those is a borrowed item of a person that maybe, if that's what you want, you could return it to if you were trying to ingratiate yourself to them, or at least keep it neutral. What would you like to do here?
Tabby goes through her bag, looking at the old, terrible things that she's worn for years. The and the new sweater that was lent to her, the hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
And she thinks, in a way, she intends to take from these people.
Mm.
Is it more correct to try and pay for what she's about to take with the garbage that she's about to offer them? Or is it, in a way, somewhat less in denial and less falsely morally upright to just take from them? And she does decide to push back down the hoodie. That is not leaving her person. The clothing, she does decide to. She asks Lila,
Mm-hmm.
are we going to be walking right up to him, or is this more of a sneak, an ambush type thing? Are we interacting with him?
It's a little bit of a, hey, over here. I'll show you. What do you want to do with all that first? What do you? Make one choice first and another one, okay? Do it in sequence.
I'll try and leave it for whomever might want it. If nothing else, they can use it as firewood.
If it'll light, Jesus.
It's very oily. Might go right up.
Don't confuse oil with slime.
I've never tried to burn my stuff, much less myself.
It's a bit counterproductive, but yeah, okay. Anyway, so you leave the pile of clothing. Do you just actually leave it in a pile, or do you sort of like stir it about? There are
She did.
people milling around. I don't know how careful you want to be with this.
Tabby will begin kind of dressed like this, at least to get close enough to be seen and noticed.
Mm.
And aware that she is wearing nicer clothing than what she's about to leave behind, she does just kind of place the clothing in a semi-folded pile in a seeable spot, like on a sidewalk or on a
There is no sidewalk.
stump.
It's just
Oh, that's right.
dirt underpass, tents.
On the ground.
Okay.
Nearby a more like trodden path.
Okay. And sorry, what did you do with the discarded hoodie?
That is just going right back into her bag. She is
Okay.
not leaving that.
Got it. Just wanted to be sure.
Thank you.
So she will lead you both into the brush, back onto a path, behind pillars, weaving around, looking for a bit of opportunity. Someone that's either sitting by themselves or kind of just aimlessly wandering. And there is someone sort of shambling about. And she leans in and just, hey, what about that one? Like that one?
What kind of, obviously it's a little hard to tell. How does this individual seem to carry themselves?
Well,
There.
shambling is a pretty definitive word.
Okay, fair enough. I missed
Probably
that.
40s
Yeah.
to 50s. They're kind of aimless.
Yeah.
They don't look like they're tweaking or anything like that. They're just maybe a bit restless, but not having the energy to be restless.
Tabby will turn her head enough to where Lila can tell that she heard and is acknowledging.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sounds good. He'll do.
Okay, so before you do, like, how do you normally do this? Because I know what I do, but what do you do?
Well, a good portion of the ones that I back in Louisville, I like to go after bangers and ruffians, if possible. If anything, obviously, not be seen, but felt like I was at least fighting some kind of bad guy. But I guess in this situation, probably just sneak right up behind, get it done.
Okay, how about this? I'll get his attention. He walks after. And you do what you gotta do. But no mess.
No mess.
No mess. His life's shitty enough as it is, okay? Like, don't end it.
Yeah. I got you. Thank you.
So,
Tabby will kind of go around to a more behind the individual spot.
You see Lila kind of slink off a little bit. And as he's kind of just dozily kind of looking around, not really sure what to do with himself, nothing to spend his attention span on, there's a sound that gets his attention, and he just it happens again. And he just, what the fuck? And he just starts to amble lazily in that direction, starting to get into the brush, going towards whatever the sound is, and just a little out of sight of the weak, dim light of the bonfires beneath the overpass.
Abby will, with a practiced stealth, just kind of shamble behind him in the same method, but with an intention of outpacing.
Mm. Okay.
A faster shamble.
So let's make this interesting. Let's go with a bit of dex and stealth. So there's some mitigating factors. This is unfamiliar territory, and yet you've been in places just like this. There's probably some part of you that is a little instinctive. It's new shoes, but you know how to walk in something like this. Borrowed shoes is nothing new to you. And once you've been in one of these encampments, you've been in all of them. And everything has a certain texture to it that you know what you're walking on and how to walk on it. But when you get into the brush, it gets a little more difficult. So we're just going to do a DC of 6. It would be a little higher, but since Lila is aiding you in this, it's just going to be a flat roll.
All right. Dex and stealth.
Mm-hmm. Now, for those of you that haven't seen us roll dice, because I tend to run this little dice light, it is a D10 system, and every dot you have in a particular stat confers you a D10. So would you like to tell them how many D10s you're running to give them a loose idea?
I am rolling 5 d10s.
Okay. Do you have celerity?
I do not.
Okay, just checking. There are some abilities that add to various stats, and we're just double checking.
I did get. You said a 6 is what to be?
Yep, 6 or above.
I did get 110, negating one of my 3 successes.
Say that again, sorry?
I did get one, oh, not 10. I did get 1. I was cursed
Okay.
because it's the tricky one where 0 is actually 10. So 3 successes, 1.
So 2 successes.
Yes.
Okay. That's enough. He's slowing down as he's just maybe starting to lose a bit of interest in whatever that is or isn't. And just before he turns around, you're able to stand up, grab him by the shoulders. And do you go for the neck? Do you go for anywhere else?
She'll go for the neck.
Okay. Now, despite your outward appearance, you would think that this would be a deeply unpleasurable act for him. But he can't see you. And the bite, or often called the kiss, is a pleasurable experience, typically. And maybe due to him just being a little aimless and looking for something to do with his time, maybe there's a part of him that just sinks into it almost immediately. Part of you might be grateful for the ease, but part of you specifically might feel this. You know what it was like to be in his position once. A moment of, maybe this is it, and I can just let go. I don't have to be here anymore. Do you take a sip, or do you take his life?
Abby will just take a sip.
Okay.
And upon not to skip anything, but
Mhm.
Upon releasing and licking her own lips. Oh, that was nice.
Do you help him get to the ground?
Yeah.
Or do you kind of just let him drop?
No. Very the grip on the arm on the shoulders
Mm-hmm.
very quickly goes to a scoop under the armpits
Mm.
and gently trying to drop him down to where in whatever position he lays,
Mm.
it is, if not one of dignity, one of at least, if nothing else, hopefully his spine won't be messed up by how he's sleeping.
Yeah, you can get him down to a more stable, vaguely comfortable, uh, laying down on his side. Maybe sort of shift his hoodie or hat in place so it's just like with a canary when you put a sheet over the cage, you're just helping him sleep a little bit more.
And she does look back towards the firelight
Mm-hmm.
that she is just out of range of. And she sees if anyone is immediately there.
Now, when you say immediately there, are you looking for someone that is looking
No
in
one
that
else.
direction?
She is going to attempt, unless there's someone potentially who would immediately see her do this, just to bring him ever so closer, even just like 10 feet
Oh, I see.
closer to the light.
So you want to drag him a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your strength like? Do you have potence?
She does.
Okay. So you could do this probably a little easier than most. What's your total of strength and potence together? How many dots would that be?
6.
6. You can make that pretty easy then. Wow, is that actually 6? Huh. Well, we were talking about nerfing things earlier. So, so I want everyone else to consider as well. Max had more than that. Anywho, moving on. You're able to,
Need more dots.
yes, you're able to drag this person a little closer. Now, the trick isn't how heavy he is. But you want to do this carefully, stealthily.
Yes. This is honestly, in Tabby's mind, less for him
Mm-hmm.
than it is for her.
Mm-hmm.
Of the trying to maintain some level of thoughtfulness in this parasitism that she is
Mm-hmm.
living out. So it is more out of the thought of outside of the light, he's in more danger from people like me.
Mm.
So she's going to bring him a little bit closer to the light, even just like 10 feet Don't need to leave him anywhere, but just closer to the group and
Mhm.
immediately depart. Not trying to leave him with anyone safe, just
Mhm.
a little bit closer to the group.
I would say it's not an uncommon sight that someone gets dragged back into the camp, either from on a bender or they got found unconscious. So even if anybody were to see you, it would just be, who cares? It's just another every night sight in one of these kind of camps. The sad reality of it. So you're able to do that, no problem.
And she will lay him there,
Mhm.
hands in the pockets, place to be, and will turn and head into the darkness.
Mhm. Do you head back towards where the car is, or where are you going? You're just wandering off into the
No,
darkness, or
the only reason why I was wondering is whether or not headed towards where she saw Lila go versus which direction the car was.
Mhm.
Uh, she'll go to where the car is.
Okay. Uh, you see
Young.
Lila on the driver's side, kind of just leaning over the car. So you good, or do you need to go for like round two? Like,
I, I could go for round two.
okay. So we won't go through the entire
Yeah,
exercise again, but
let's see the sights.
mhm,
And she'll settle back into the car.
mhm. I'd say you're able to get another snack, be all topped up. So whatever your maximum blood pool is, we'll consider that filled.
Mm.
And as you go rolling off into the night, unless there's any further thoughts, we're going to pull the camera back out. And as you get back onto the road, the underglow starts back up as well. Miss Fulton. So, tell us how Kate is preparing for her hunt tonight. Now that she has her own home, a place to base all of her shenanigans and operations from, full wardrobe, full bath, full dark academia.
Kate has ditched the blazer she was wearing over her dress earlier. Kind of checks her hair and makeup in the mirror.
Mhm.
And it's only a mile or so, but she's in heels and Savannah is full of cobblestones. So she's going to call an Uber.
No, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that it's late enough on a Thursday
Mm-hmm.
that you could drive down to where it is you're intending to go
Okay.
and be able to get a parking space pretty easily.
And we'll do that then.
Okay. Now, before we get into this proper, are you spending any blood to give yourself that blush of health, to make yourself look more human?
What? I have not been snacking like everyone else has.
Mm.
What do you think I'm at blood-wise right now?
I'd say you're at roughly because we're just going to do this above the table because it's easier instead of being too coy about it.
Mhm.
What's your maximum?
13.
13. We're going to say you're down to 8. And we'll include that with the, if you're going to use Flush of Health, to it'll bring it down from 9 if you want to do it that way.
Okay. We'll do that then.
Okay. So you're not frothingly hungry, but you could eat. And you should.
Mhm.
And it's been trained into you specifically how you must maintain that. Stay on top of it, or it will be on top of you. And not in a fun way. So, she's in heels. She has no blazer. What is her hunting garb?
Oh, it is a little black dress.
Little black dress.
Yes.
Mm.
The deep V and a short skirt. Classy still, but
Very demure. That's
heard
gonna
it too
take this
many
episode.
times.
Mm.
To a very specific 2 weeks of the internet.
Mm. As you get in your own car, what did you get?
It's a Cadillac, and I have the specifics written down somewhere, but Dreamy is not a car person, so I don't remember off the top of my head.
So 2-door, 4-door.
4-door. It's a sedan.
Okay, so it's basically a classy rolling tank of American make. All black or?
Oh, of course.
Okay. So as you roll through Savannah, you arrive not on a red carpet, but on a red brick road just west of City Hall, on the promenade behind and above River Street proper. Before you is a red brick hotel with short palm trees making the fencing a bit more discreet. This is the Bohemian Hotel on River Street. Inside is awash with wood paneling, muted brick with stark white mortar, near holographic glass art pieces of ghostly human forms. As you take up the elevator to the rooftop bar, what is going through Kate's mind? Why did she pick this place over any other?
She wants to start somewhere a little higher end. Somewhere that harkens back to some of her favorite DC haunts. And it's over a hotel, so maybe there's a tourist with a room to walk down to be discreet. But at the very least, it's somewhere with a nice bourbon to hold on to as she scouts for who might match her blood preference.
Now, for those of you watching, the clan Ventru have a blood preference, meaning they can only drink from one particular kind of person, and it is different for each and every one within the clan. You may be able to clue in to what is Kate's in a moment. So you see servers, you see people populating seats, the actual bar, the outer tables along the balcony. While this is a slightly classier place than some of the other things going on along River Street, they're not all pure and pristine. Some of them might be marked in such a way that harkens to your requirements. So you tell me, what is it that you're looking for? And not just the preference itself, but the type of person. Because that can be quite broad. What is the mood that she's trying to fulfill right now?
Maybe someone who's here on business, who's come upstairs for a drink after a work conference. Maybe who's someone who's just as new to town as she is.
So you'd be looking for conference goer, a tourist, someone who's not local. This is a good bar for that sort of thing. But as you can see from where you are right now, a potential location to attempt in the future is right across the water. As you can see, the Savannah Convention Center and the Westin Hotel. The two so linked. That might be a roost for you to go check out in the future. So there are some locals, at least you gather there has to be at least a few. But it is a hotel bar. Most of the people are not going to be from Savannah itself. At the very least, its outskirts. So this is where I'm going to let you tell me. You have the options. Describe for me the kind of person that's going to get Kate's attention tonight over any other. Or the persons.
As she arrives, she will order a glass of Woodford Reserve at the bar and kind of take her time, let it swirl in the glass and smell it, because that's the only way she gets to enjoy bourbon nowadays. She'll scout out and look for the telltale signs, maybe a sleeve that's rolled up far enough to notice, or someone tucks hair behind and reveals something on the neck. Business people would probably keep them more hidden than, say, the bartenders themselves.
You would see none of the bartenders, at least not right immediately, would ever fit in that mode right this moment. But there are, well, there could be business people. They're not necessarily in full suits and conference regalia. It's the end of the night. Some sleeves are pushed up. Jackets are maybe left in a hotel room or draped over a chair. Ties are loosened. But there's also people who are just on a night on the town, wearing a polo shirt or slightly unbuttoned shirt of some kind, or a sundress exposing upper back, side of the neck. And you're able to find a few that suit your purpose. So the question is less about, can you find them? And more, what is the exact look, make, and model that she's going for right now?
Let's try to catch the eye of a man, probably in his like early to mid 30s, sleeves rolled up. There's something on the forearm, who maybe looks like he might be as much on the hunt as Kate is.
The out-of-towner. Oh, how awful do I want this to be right now?
I was going to say, it doesn't matter if there is a suntan line exposing that there is a ring missing or not.
That's exactly what I was wondering. Let's lean into that a little bit. It's less that there's a tan line and more just a very slight indentation probably this is someone who has a properly sized ring for exactly this purpose and knows to take it off so they don't get that burn or tan, and also isn't tight enough to leave such an indentation. But because you know what you're looking at and looking for, you spot that subtle groove in an otherwise pristine hand. You see some sort of filigree along the inside of his forearm. Some trite home bullshit.
I was like either that or like cyber sigilism.
It's gonna be just a poem you don't recognize and maybe something he wrote himself because he's high on his own bullshit.
Perfect.
And while he is chatting, and he does seem to be getting at least a longer conversation before somebody either turns him down or they kind of just, no, thank you. And he does politely duck off. He's not trying to press because he probably looks at it as, well, if he's here for a business trip, it's all a numbers game. He just does it long enough, somebody will take him up on it. Now, the question for you is, do you wait for him to pursue you or do you pursue him?
I'll go up to him.
Okay. Do you wait for him to be sort of leaving the bar? Do you wait for him to be going through a room? How do you approach?
As he like ends the conversation with someone, I'll catch him in passing.
And he's walking through holding, I'll say an old-fashioned, but maybe something with a little bit of a twist to it. It's like, he didn't quite see you at first, and he's just turning. He's like, "Oh, sorry. Oh, hi."
Hi.
And he goes to extend his hand, like, "I'm Dave."
Hey.
You actually gave him your name?
Yeah.
Oh, someone's feeling saucy. Well, I guess he can't remember anything if there's no one to remember. So, what are you doing here, Kate? You with anybody?
Just here for work. How about you?
Well, I'm off work now.
Good answer.
How much of your drink is there? Does it look like you were sipping it? Trying to make it look like you were?
Yeah.
Okay. So does it look like it's just about empty? Like were you just sort of slightly spilling it into a plant somewhere? What was your...
The poor plant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well then, why don't I buy you another drink and you can tell me all about what you do? What's your poison?
Bourbon. Good kind.
I think we can make that work. He doesn't go the toppest shelf, but he doesn't go the lowest.
Noted.
It's at least sort of middle top. So he's not going for the 25-year-old Macallan. He's at least going for something it's a good whiskey, but a whiskey that is affordable. Now, do you specify for him, or based on the glass, is it on the rocks? Is it neat?
It'll be neat.
Neat. He follows suit with that. And as he's just about to sort of hand you the drink, he sort of just wafts it, not quite in your face, but just sort of just maybe about a foot away. Just, he kind of just gives that sort of like head nod to go grab a seat. in more of a secluded part of the balcony. The lighting's just a little bit lower, but still present.
Mm-hmm.
Do you follow along with this obvious bait?
Yeah, I'll give him at least a few minutes.
Mm-hmm. And I would say he's trying to sit on the same side of the table as you. Body language angled all towards you.
Mm-hmm.
He's asking you not pointed questions, but just what do you do? How long are you in Savannah?
I'll keep it surface level and coy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You get the impression he's doing a little bit of the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's more a case of he's not really interested in whether or not you're seeing anyone as much as is that going to be a problem in the next 20 minutes?
Oh, I'm not going to sit here for 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
After about 2 or 3, I will use dominate.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're talking the power or just the power of your voice?
The power.
Okay. Now, for those of you watching and haven't seen this done yet, Dominate is a vampiric discipline and not just a fun roleplay game. But it can be both. So, what is it that you're trying to do with this ability? Which specific level are you trying to use?
Let's use mesmerize,
Okay.
which is the second one.
Okay. So, been a while. Back to the book.
And I've got it typed out if you need me to read any of it.
Just tell me the page.
I don't know. I just typed up the abilities.
Well,
It's efficient, man. Been true.
okay. So this would be manipulation and leadership. And against his willpower, which is going to be 4. So this is mostly trivial. And this is more a case of let's have fun seeing if this fails or not.
Okay.
And what you do, if it does.
If I dump my dice out, that one we'll catch later. All right, I am rolling manipulation and leadership.
Against a difficulty of 4.
I'm rolling 6.
Hmm.
Okay. No failures, all successes. No 10s though.
Well,
Yes.
nice. So, for the class, why don't you tell them what this power does?
Oh, let me look at the specifics since we kind of glossed over this in
Mhm.
prequels. I can verbally implant a false thought or hypnotic suggestion in the subject's subconscious mind. The target must be free from distraction. Good thing
Oh, I'd
Kate's the only
say,
distraction right now.
yeah, he's his attention is pretty wrapped up. So, what is it you are attempting to compel him to do? Or rather, succeeding in compelling him to do?
Let's get out of here and make our way downstairs.
I don't think it really would have needed dominate, but
But you know,
but
cover your bases.
Efficient.
I don't have to sit through the bullshit small talk now.
Yeah. Fair enough.
He's not interesting enough for that.
Okay. Now, do you let him get you all the way to his room? Okay. And once you get in there, he's of course going to go for the amorous activity. Going for the skipping the handhold, because that's just lewd. Going for the neck kissing. Do you follow suit?
Well, I will go straight for the neck. And I don't know if we've changed any since prequels, but in my prequels, I could take about 3 points before they needed a nice little nap and a recovery snack.
We're going to go with that for now.
Okay.
Now, here's a fun thing,
Mm-hmm.
and you've learned this before. You can't directly enjoy whiskey, but someone that has been drinking, you get the benefits of it.
Mm-hmm.
Muted. You're not so smashed that you can't drive, but you get a little bit of that. How do I put this? You're not getting a buzz as much as just a lighter feeling,
Mm-hmm.
a bit more relaxation. But that could also simply be from the euphoria of feeding on someone, especially considering it's been a day or so since you have.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, being what the kiss with a capital K, he's left with an incredibly enjoyable, not really memory as much as a hazy, I met a girl at the bar. Things got a little amorous. We were in my room. All right.
So yeah, if 3 kind of leaves him a little knocked out,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I
there's no round two for Loverboy.
mhm. I will kind of dump him off on his bed. I don't have to tuck him in nice. I will take like a Gatorade and a Cliff Bar from the mini bar and stick it next to him. He can be charged for that, but you know.
Here's a little treat.
Yep.
Nice. Okay.
So I'm still 2 points short of max. Remind me, would it be wise to go feed again, or is that kind of an okay place to be?
It wouldn't be the worst decision in the world. The question is, do you want to go back to the same rooftop bar?
No.
Okay. So, where would you like to go?
He's done some research.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a few blocks over, there is a basement bar next to another hotel, but I think this one's not quite as hotel clientele because it's not taking the elevator upstairs,
Mm-hmm.
called Repeal 33.
Okay.
She'll make her way to.
Luckily, I have a folder for that.
That is one of the ones I sent you.
Mm-hmm. Now, as you go over there, I'm not going to go through the whole sing and dance again, but tell me a little bit about the bar.
Um,
I know specifically
mhm.
the name is about repealing 33, as in prohibition. It was part of the uh, now defunct tunnels all over town. First, they were part of the Civil War, then were co-opted as part of uh, Prohibition era Savannah, where they would make moonshine across town and filter it to speakeasies all over the place. But tell me about the place and why you're going there.
And it kind of has similar vibes to where I just left, but it prides itself as like a craft cocktail bar.
Mm. And now that you had the functionary meal, I guess we'll call him,
Mhm.
are you taking your time with this area? Are you looking for something or someone in particular? Or is it still just getting on with it?
No, this time I'm looking for someone who might be worth having a conversation with.
Okay. It's a little touristy,
Mhm.
as a lot of the bars on River Street are, but there's a good energy because it's not just people going for a business trip. This is people who are just, I want to see Savannah. They might be here with friends. They might be just bar hopping. But well, it's a little louder, a little more raucous, but it's still in a people are just having a good time.
And this time it doesn't necessarily have to be a tourist.
Mm.
She's not banking on it
Hmm.
being someone to add to the herd, but if it happened,
Mm.
she does have her menu phone that is currently empty.
Mm. So what you're looking for is slightly more on display, as there's more skin on display. The really important question is not who can I put in front of you as much as what are you looking for? Are you looking for staff? Are you looking for a patron?
Patron.
Patron.
Mm-hmm.
I will say some of the staff almost immediately, visibly fit what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
It is, of course, maybe a little harder to get their attention to keep it.
Mm-hmm. Is it pretty busy?
It's a Thursday night, so not that busy at all. There's people, they're
Mm-hmm.
having a good time. And obviously, you were able to get down to this part of town um, and get parking pretty easily on a Thursday night. So it's not exactly packed.
In that case, I won't discount staff because
Hmm.
they're gonna be local.
Yeah.
So I'll sit at the bar.
Hmm.
I'll get a craft cocktail this time. Something, whatever their twist on the old fashioned is, because a place like this, they're gonna have one.
Hmm. I imagine it's less about all the different things they put in it as much as the choice of whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
It's something a little more floral forward, almost like a nicer floral scent you would get out of a good gin, but with being a whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really the twist of it. Um,
I'll chat up a staff member then. I'm new to town. I could get
mhm,
some good advice on the city,
mhm.
what there is to do.
You see a woman just around 30, um, darker hair, multitasking. Um, she's not in charge, but she's not low person on the totem pole either. Just very competent and confident with the job. Probably has been doing it a good long while. There's another man behind the bar with the, excuse me, shorter, dark hair, a little taller, and both sort of fit what you're looking for in one capacity or another. And they're just very quickly going about sorting orders, but it does slow down and starts and fits kind of thing. So which one are you looking to talk to?
I'll talk to the woman.
Okay. What do you say to her?
Um, I will compliment her on the drink.
Mhm.
So I hate to be that person who asks. I'm sure you have to give the speech the whole time, but I'm new to town.
She lobs the towel over her shoulder. She kind of leans forward wearing this. It's not leather or pleather, but maybe some sort of vinyl thing. It's definitely the sort of thing that people wear behind the bar when they want tips. And it does sort of seem to be that showy sort of bar because it's touristy.
Mm-hmm.
She leans forward. Oh, yeah, I kind of got that. And she's looking at the dress.
Was it the heels on the cobblestones that gave it away?
Yeah, locals don't do that.
Yeah, it's been a mistake.
Or at least some of them walk barefoot.
I think I'd rather have blisters than whatever kind of tetanus might be running. No offense to your beautiful city, but you know,
Oh, it's fine around here. Go a little further west along River Street, and it gets a little
messy.
I was gonna go with seedy, but
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Start going further south, you're gonna run into Rogue Waters, Pinkies, real divey places.
Gotcha. Are they worth going to though? No, what you have to say. This is the best bar, right?
Oh, sweetie, this is the only bar as far as you're concerned.
Oh, okay. Good to know. I won't put anything else on my list to try. Well, anything here.
What else can I get for you?
I feel like it might be too bold to ask for a number, but no, that's rude. I'm sorry you're at work.
Most people meet at work, sweetie.
Well, you're lucky I met you before I started my June job.
Oh, and what's the new job?
Oh, business.
Oh, you're one of those types.
Oh, and if you couldn't tell by the dress. Got to find my Savannah look. It's a little bit more, not casual, just more southern than what I've been working in.
I want to lean into linen.
Good advice.
She's saying that as that like sort of faux pleather thing that she's wearing. It's like speaking from experience, that's probably what she'd rather be wearing right now. The jar behind the bar looks like it's doing decent for tips. And that's probably the only reason why she's trussed up this way. Number, you say? Awfully bold.
Thought I'd take my chance. But I'm
No.
supposed to see a attractive woman and not shoot my shot?
You and every other guy that walks in here.
Oh, good thing I'm not a guy.
If only you were.
Oh, my heart.
Oh, I bet that's not the thing that's aching right now.
You got me there.
You wish I got you there.
Well, even if this doesn't work out, this is definitely a bar to come back to for the banter and the drinks.
Well, how about you come see me tomorrow night and we'll see if we can have this conversation again. I gotta get back to work.
Okay.
And she starts making her rounds. Hey, you got one. Everybody gets one. Now, what do you do from here?
Was anyone listening into that conversation who maybe kind of perked up that the woman at the bar is not going home with the bartender?
So you're looking for someone that's just like,
oh,
okay, okay, Do you see someone a little more? You get the impression he's probably a lot more meek, but he's gotten a few in him, and he's just, hey,
hey, this is a patron at the bar.
yeah, and that's all of his confidence right there. He said, hey, and he did not think the rest of this through at all.
Does he match the preference?
You don't know yet.
All right, I'll go talk to him.
Okay.
Kind of slide the 2, 3, 4 seats down.
So he's wearing just this paisley button up with a brown blazer. Doesn't really match, and he doesn't seem all that stylish. He seems well put together, clean, maybe in his mid-20s, and he just saw a pretty girl ordering a drink who's flirting, got turned down. He's just, this is my moment. As ill-advised as it is, and probably because he's a little bit sloshed himself, trying to work up the liquid courage to go talk to anybody, not just a pretty girl, but just alone at the bar.
So, can you help me in my quest of getting to know the city better?
Sure. What do you want to know about?
Okay, well, I figured out this is the bar I'm definitely coming back to.
I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're here, so yeah. And he kind of looks away, thinking like, "Oh, what a fucking dumb thing to say."
You know, you got to take a breath.
Uh-huh. And he just takes a very nervous sip.
And maybe a big sip.
Do you sort of encourage a bigger sip?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, okay.
So are you local?
5-6 years, yeah. Ish.
Oh, were you like a SCAD student or something?
No, I teach there though. Architecture.
Oh. No offense, I was kind of worried it was some of that like performance arts bullshit.
Not a performer. I just design stuff.
What kind of stuff?
I kind of helped with some of the design of the rejuvenation project for the plant district.
I'm trying to make sure that Dreamy's knowledge does not overshadow Kate's knowledge. With him working at SCAD, would this set off any alarm bells for her? Not that, like, SCAD owns people, or that those who work at SCAD might own people, but she doesn't want to make the same mistake twice.
I would say it's a really good paranoia to have. You don't know for sure one direction or the other.
Because Kate doesn't know who oversaw the rejuvenation project.
Just take your chances.
It's too risky for a first night. Well, to Savannah, to new friends. Let me know if you've got any friends.
And you see him just deflate.
Like, lady friends. Sorry.
It doesn't get better. Like, oh. Just, yeah, I'll keep that in mind.
Man, let me buy you a drink. I'm sorry.
I think maybe I had enough. And when it gets off the stool and he's not like falling over, but he's not walking away with much confidence at the moment. You've destroyed 2 men tonight in very different ways. One with intent, the other was just collateral. So what do you do?
Well, I'm going to look, after throwing that out into the world, I'm going to look for ladies that meet my blood preference. I have flirted quite a bit here, and I don't want to come across as completely lecherous to the patrons of this bar. If I can find someone, cool. If not, I might have to resign myself and text the gang. See where they're at.
I'd say whatever it is that you're going to do to get someone's attention is going to require a little bit of talking, a little bit of flirting.
Mm-hmm.
And you know where they're going, or at least the intent of where they're supposed to meet up. You're probably going to find somebody there.
Okay, so it's our understanding this is not like a vamp only event.
Always assume that every event, especially if it takes place in any kind of public forum, is mixed company.
Okay. Then I will go get my car and head home to change.
Okay. Before we pan out from that, what little stray thoughts is she having in her little black dress?
That damn a swing and a miss. That if he had matched, that guy would have been an easy target. But again, she's not going to make the same mistake twice. She's not going to get tangled up in some Toreador bullshit. Not without more knowledge, just to make sure.
Good plan.
But also, that was too easy at Rocks on the Rooftop. Should she need another quick fix?
And she also had a literal vantage point on another place to look at, considering the initial MO of people in town for conventions and conferences.
And that's on the island, isn't it?
It is.
It's across the river. So if she makes it to the island early, that could always be a stop.
Could be. But before we get to our impending quattro, I think now's a good time to take a quick break. We'll be back soon. Welcome back. As we dive into our recently arrived neonates getting their first night of feeding in a fresh city. We tack back over to Wormslow at Elysium, the main house, where Artem, Poppy, and Cora have been killing a bit of time. So let's check in with them briefly. Artem, what's been going on in your mind since you hung up with your primogen?
Basically just on repeat in Ukrainian, this is a bad idea, this was a bad idea, this was a bad idea.
Which part of it?
Bringing Christiana.
Okay. I didn't know if you were being, because you're in America, but...
That doesn't help either.
Any other bits? Okay.
Just trying to survive the night.
Cora.
So we're currently waiting for Christiana to show up. Okay, we have the car already.
You do. So you can be
What?
outside if you would like.
What are we driving?
You've been given one of the Range Rovers.
Okay, I'm gonna walk around it and make sure it looks good. Look at all the tires, everything like that. Get the seat adjusted and the mirrors, all of those things. And partway through that, as I'm getting configured, I'm going to use this new phone since we have a little time, and I'm going to place a quick call. Home.
You're going to call home. Okay. This was unexpected. I'm trying to think. What would be the time difference? It's about 6-7 hours?
It's a 6-hour difference.
Okay. Ooh. Would he be awake?
I'm not sure. It depends on the time of night.
Let's see. What would sunset have been here? About 8 o'clock-ish?
I think I looked at it being like 9:09 during this time of year.
So let's say this is about 10:30-ish, give or take. So that is just cusping on maybe about to go to sleep in Frankfurt.
Yeah, if I have to leave a message, that's fine.
Mhm. So you're calling the house?
Uh,
Because you wouldn't have his cell number actually.
that's true. I don't have his.
Mhm.
Uh, I
You
do
would
have one
have.
number.
You do. So you call his?
Yeah.
Okay. It takes a little longer because of international connecting, but eventually. Cora, it's in
Ciao.
German. Oh, you made it. Good.
And then she'll switch over to German.
Mm.
I did. And how is everything over there?
Oh, he's trying to distract himself.
Mm.
Do you want me to put him on?
Could you? Oh, how are you? I know we just saw each other a little while ago, but
Mm. I'll put him on and then you and I can talk afterwards. He's closer to going to bed than I am.
of course.
Mm. And you hear Essen, and you could actually hear this storm of footsteps heading towards the phone. Just, ah, and how are we?
Well, I'm in one piece.
That would be inconvenient if it was otherwise.
Uh, I was able to um, meet everybody here.
Good,
There
good.
were some others that I was meeting everyone for the first time with. Uh, most of us moved on to the next round of interviews.
Oh, oh, that sounds, okay. I should like to hear the details at some point.
It's I can see why you didn't want me going for a job right away.
Yes, it is rather cutthroat.
Uh, anyway, I just wanted to let you know that I've landed,
Hmm.
and I'm in good hands. I've met some family members here,
Ah, good.
so
Are you making friends?
I hope so. Yes.
Good. Now, here's the thing. I would like to meet each and every one of them and murder them violently if they cause a problem. But since I don't have that kind of time,
Uh, you'll leave it to me then.
very good, yes.
Okay, good. uh,
But it's good to hear from you.
it's good to hear from you too.
Hmm.
Thank you for taking care of getting me a ride and everything like that.
Of course. But I should let you go. I get the sneaking suspicion that you are on the way to something. It is quite early in the evening for you.
Yes, some of my friends and I are going to get a snack. They-
Very good. We'll talk soon.
Uh, yeah, uh, talk soon. This is going to be my phone number for a while.
I figured. You want me to say anything to Heinrich?
You can let him know this is my number.
Oh, well, maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. Depends on my moods of the day. I am so very changeable.
I would expect nothing less of you, of course.
Hmm. I will give you back to Gerhard, and we will talk soon. Have fun.
Thank you. I said, tschüss.
Couldn't talk. He hands the phone back to Gerhardt. Well, that was more animated than I've seen him all day.
I'm glad I put a smile on his face.
I would say more of a slasher smile, but we'll go with that.
Hmm. It was a challenging introduction, I'll say here.
Good. If it was easy, you wouldn't be learning anything.
Right, right.
You're getting on well, so far at least.
I think so. I need to remind myself vacation is over.
Be that as it may, do you need anything?
And no, for the time being, I think I'm all right.
Let me know if that changes.
Of course. Absolutely.
I presume this is your forever number for now?
That's the look of things, yeah.
Okay. Well, let me know. And if a care package needs to be brought in your direction, we'll figure something out.
Perfect. I'll start putting together a list just in case.
You hear him kind of pull the phone away a little bit as if he's sort of listening to someone else talking. He goes, really? He says, stay away from the windows.
It's not a mistake I'm going to be making a second time.
Good to hear. Be well, Cora. We'll talk soon.
It's good to hear from you. Cheers.
He hangs up. Now, what's Poppy been doing all during this?
Poppy has been using her new phone to take a look at potential stores where she might find a better outfit for tonight before they get
Should've
to
gone with
where they're
Lila.
getting to. What's that?
Should have gone with Lila.
I know, right? I really should have. And she'd be using probably the same method to acquire such an item. But she's looking for something that will be good for both the bar and the racetrack.
So what are we talking? Dress, like a clubby kind of thing?
She's thinking short, literally what I'm wearing. It's a jumpsuit style thing, but it's like a short sleeves, very tiny little short vibe, with a belt around the middle to cincher in and a nice zipper that can be used
So we talking like romper or what's?
differently. Yeah, I guess it is a romper, but it's like more in the style of something that looks like a mechanic's outfit.
Oh, okay. So more pinup romper a little bit.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. So she wants to go grease monkey, but make it fashion.
exactly.
Okay. Okay. So there's a couple ways you could do this. Wake up earlier.
Great.
Or
Everything's closed at this
yeah,
point.
that is the trick. You're either gonna have to break into a place, or it'd probably be a lot easier to find an actual mechanic's uniform and take some scissors to it.
Ooh, yeah, that's probably a better idea.
Like,
Yeah,
get a real mechanic's uniform and just like make it cheeky.
yeah,
Get a belt.
literally. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good vibe. I think she'll come to that.
Mm-hmm.
She'll be on Pinterest a little bit, looking for inspo.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, local mechanic shop.
Weirdly, it would probably be easier to get one at the racetrack.
Great. Okay, then she won't worry about it until
Yeah.
then.
If
But
you
she
want to go
wants
to
to
the
look
bar
good.
first.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good
Okay.
call. Yeah,
We can do that.
yeah. And like her t-shirt and jeans wouldn't look weird at a bar.
No.
But at
Whereas
the racetrack, she
her,
wants to look really good for the Toreador.
yeah, whereas her retro pinup attempt is going to have to be acquired elsewhere.
Yes, that's a bigger
Mhm.
thing. Other
Okay.
fish to fry.
That's
yeah.
also going to be a bit of a challenge because you might meet the Toreador before you can re-wardrobe. But maybe that's
I'll
something
make
you
it
could
work.
discuss.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll figure it out.
So, with the two ladies occupied in one way or another, Artem, have you just been pacing? Have you just been enjoying the silence? Going full
Yeah,
Depeche Mode?
probably a little bit of both. Maybe I'll take another look outside the estate, see if I
Mhm.
see anything wild running around.
Mm. You do see yellow eyes peering back at you.
Always watching.
Mm. Do you approach or just try and let that go?
Yeah, maybe he'll approach.
Mm-hmm.
Is this these human eyes or are they something else?
They're too far apart to be human.
Okay.
Especially as you get closer, the pupil distance kind of starts to make more sense as this is not a person.
I believe
Mm-hmm.
with my one dot in animalism, I can
Mm-hmm.
speak to animals.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
So I may just ask this fine gentleman what he's doing out here tonight.
Hmm. Now, do you ever remember what page that's on?
But I can find it.
Feral Whispers, I believe, is the one you're going for.
I believe so.
On page 129.
Is that the one dot? It is the one dot. Yes.
Hmm. Now, do you want to tell our viewers what it is that power does?
Well, basically, it just gives me the ability to communicate with, I think, any animal. I don't think it
Mm-hmm.
has to be a mammal. From anyone else's perspective, it sounds like I'm just like, if it's a cat, I'm meowing. If it's a dog, I'm
Mm-hmm.
barking. I just sound like an insane person. But
So the fun thing is that it has nothing to do with you making any kind of sound. It's
no,
more telepathic, empathetic. You are exerting a certain amount of will in their direction. So you're
never mind what
not
I said then.
chirping and meowing at anything, unless you really want to.
Yeah, that might be funny.
Mm.
Maybe some other time.
You have never seen your sire do that. Make the sounds. I mean, you know that the forest basically bends to her will. So you are attempting eye contact to establish a connection. Now, you don't need to roll anything until you issue a command. So are you trying to issue a command or are you just trying to communicate?
I think we just want to communicate, but maybe
Mm-hmm.
I'll try a come here.
Mm-hmm. But it's less of a command and more of a, hey, please listen.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So you notice the eyes kind of go a little tilty, the way a dog would tilt its head at you when it's confused or amused, bit of both. And slowly, out of the darkness of the brush, this rather oversized black dog starts to pad towards you.
Is it Orion?
It looks like it. He didn't have a collar and no name tag. So this looks like the same animal as far as you can tell, just as unidentified. Maybe he's chipped, you don't know. If Artem even knows what that is.
He might not.
So you're just trying to get this animal to walk towards you, and he eventually does. But it's definitely not a command and more a case of, and it slowly begins to circle.
Hmm.
It recognizes you. He recognizes you. And he sits down, sort of like leaning back on his haunches. He's not aggressive, it's not suspicious, and more just a case of, we're occupying enough space together. I don't need to be cuddled up next to you. It's just, this is as comfortable as he seems to feel right this minute in terms of investigating someone.
I wanted to.
Sorry, just one sec. This is
Go ahead.
going on during Cora's phone call and Poppy's Pinterest spree.
I wanted to try to ascertain if he's like specifically watching Elysium or if he's just hanging around.
Are you trying to press that as a feeling towards the dog?
Yes.
You again see the dog tilt its head in that confused way. And you just get a sense of home, protect, kill.
Good boy.
And it lays down sort of on all fours and just gives that almost innocent yawn a big dog can give, despite the feeling it just gave you. Like that's just matter of course.
Could I maybe get him to tell me if there are other like concentrations of animals around this area and what direction they'd be in?
It doesn't really seem to know how to answer that question. He sniffs and looks around. Just you get more the feeling of look, hunt.
That makes sense.
It's like why are you stupid? Why do you have to like that? That's kind of the like why can't you do?
Just lazy, I guess.
Mm. So he kind of sits there and doesn't seem perturbed. If you don't go to bother him, he doesn't run away, but he's not coming up to be pet. And he seems like the only person that he follows like a puppy dog would be Alden.
Mhm.
Everything else is fair game.
I'll keep that in mind.
Mm. Speaking of which, you see him walking around the back of the house
Oh, shit.
with Christiana. He's seems like he's wearing, if not the same pants, that a very similar style. No jacket, but vest and dress shirt with the sleeves rolled up. She's not in the same black party dress as much as older, rougher, looser fitting leather jacket, jeans, and kind of a plain top. And she's kind of shaking her hair out from, you presume, a boat ride. Whatever path they took here seems to give her hair a little bit of volume, and she's not upset about it. She just sort of seems to be trying to put in a better state.
I've been there.
As they get close to you, that's when Orion stands up and goes and stands almost like body against leg of Alden. And there's this casual reach down to just, it's not really reaching down as much as actually has to almost lift his hand up to put on the dog's head, even though it's sitting. It's a big boy. He's a good boy, but he's a big boy. Kind of in the same way that like an Irish wolfhound is just like a small horse.
I guess I'll walk up to them and say, "Evening."
Well, for once, she was eager to go. And she kind of gives him a little bit of a, like, don't embarrass me, dad kind of thing.
Shut up, Dad.
Good, you've got the car.
What are supposed to be a driver? I think she did Uber Eats or something.
He cranes his neck towards Cora because he remembers the conversation from the introduction.
Cora's gonna be outside the vehicle,
Mhm.
carefully looking at the mirrors currently.
Cora, was it?
She'll turn and face him.
Hmm.
That's right.
Every word you've heard him speak since the moment he opened his mouth in your first night in Elysium, there's this undertone of a growl. It's not anger. It's more just how he's been changed by time. Over here.
She'll double time and stand comfortable distance away.
Does Poppy just watch, or does she come a little closer as well?
I think Poppy was like maybe on the other side of the car, just like leaned up against it, and she'll just get a little bit closer.
She comes around the car, but she doesn't.
Yeah, she'll come around the car just to be like, yes.
He sees you, and he just.
Oh, great.
Now, for those of you that don't know, this is my child, Christiana.
Hi.
Pleasure to meet you.
She kind of gives more of a leerier look to Cora because I'm assuming you look a little bit more put together despite, the racing jacket.
Oh, she's got a racing jacket on, but she's wearing like business slacks essentially
Yeah.
too.
So that's what kind of throws her. She doesn't quite know what to do with that image. It's two conflicting things in her mind. But when she looks at Poppy, she goes, "Oh, please tell me you're the fun one."
I don't know. I think tonight's about finding out.
Okay. Okay. And she just shakes her hair out again, trying to get it a little bit better, but it's definitely got some more volume than maybe she was intending. And then she's about to say something, goes, "Right, here's the rules. Go have fun within reason." none of this becomes newsworthy.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't think of it.
Artem, you'll be escorting her home tonight. She knows where it is, and that's where you're going to be staying afterwards. If you have anything to collect from the cottage, now's the time.
Didn't come with much.
Most of us don't. And when he says us, you definitely understand your kind. He looks to Christiana. I assume you have a place or two in mind. Oh, fuck yeah. And she's already kind of walking towards the car, just eager to go anywhere else. He looks to you specifically, Artem. Manners, discretion. Not necessarily in that order.
Hmm.
Remember where you are. This isn't the woods anymore. It's much worse. Looks to each of you. Good luck. Happy hunting.
Cora will smile at him.
Thanks.
You all got the sheriff's number, didn't you?
We do.
And he leaves it at that, and he just walks away.
Poppy will like look over at Artem like as soon as he turns around, just like, what was that about the sheriff's number? We have it, which is great. Is there something?
Don't use it. Sorry. Don't need to use it.
Okay, got it. Great, good.
And as Christiana's grabbing the door handle, like, we're going, right?
Yeah.
Where's our first stop? And Cora will walk over to the driver's seat.
As you all pile in, and she buckles in, she goes, okay, weird question. Do any of you actually have money?
Cora reaches into her coat pocket and pulls out some euros.
I would actually imagine Cora, through the guidance of those in her life, would have at least gotten some actual
Yeah, that makes
American
sense.
currency.
She would have stopped at an exchange.
Yeah.
I know cash isn't super in fashion here, but
Mm.
That's good. I might need to Venmo you if that's okay. Or Cash App or
We're not sponsored.
not sponsored, not sponsored. Just yeah, I'm a little short on cash myself, and you know some of these older bars might be cash bars, so you never know.
it's fine.
I'm flat broke.
Christiana, do you need a hair tie or anything?
She looks at you. Because actually, where are you sitting in the car?
I am imagining I'm in the back seat.
Okay, so you're actually next to her. She goes,
Oh, great.
no,
Okay, just check it. You
I
just
thought
looks
you were
like-
the fun one.
Yeah, but you can't have certain types of fun if your hair's all up in your mask, girl.
And this is the first time when she's getting a little bit animated beyond the sullen and subdued and just, fucking Finally. I am so tired of people treating me like I'm made of fucking glass.
Do people do that often? Poppy glances over at Artem as well, being like, "Do you do this?"
Cora's
We
going to
literally
start the
just met.
vehicle.
Oh, you just met. Okay.
Mhm.
But y'all are like now buddies.
Yeah,
Okay.
join to the fucking hip. Great.
Fun.
Or
Great.
else, is my understanding.
Yikes.
Hey, so get out of here and take a left.
Yeah, can do. Who knows? Maybe you'll love each other.
Mhm. Before you leave Wormslow, she reaches forward because she's sitting behind you, grabbing your seat with sort of the uh, left hand on the right sort of shoulder pad and reaching around, and her hand blossoms into blades. No? Now I'm fucking hungry again. And she leans back and she crosses her arms, trying to just shake out the impulse that she just had, that she had no real control over, beyond just, I want to rip something apart.
Cora is gonna um, not look back and
Mhm.
just say very quietly to herself, okay.
Poppy like wishes for telepathy with Cora and Artem. And she's just like, God, okay, because in her mind she's like, okay, we got to keep her from becoming newsworthy, as Alden said. Like
Hmm.
she's the problem here. We're gonna be fine. Ugh.
I would say all of you wouldn't need to roll any kind of uh empathy, or as D&D would put it, inside check, as she's young, she's angry, she's not quite housebroken.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to be socialized in one
So
way or another.
I'm gonna send Cora a quick text that says, "I'm so sorry. I won't. I'll try not to let that happen again."
So here's a question. Is it just Akora, or are you starting the group chat?
No, it's just a Cora.
Okay.
since
So
Cora's
close.
at the wheel, she's just gonna send like the flat face emoji.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay. Any other thoughts before we are formally on the road?
yeah, I don't know if Poppy would have had this thought, but Cora almost definitely has one or two actual mechanic suits of hers. Um, so
Oh man,
Would you
would
have
Poppy
voiced
have
that?
figured that out?
Hmm.
You probably saw me scrolling against the car.
oh yeah, maybe caught what
Okay.
you were trying to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I would have retroactively
Mhm.
offered.
Okay. So to make this a little streamlined, you can, while you were waiting, I've at least gone back to the house real quick to uh got her one. And because you're a fairly sprightly uh person yourself, Cora, your mechanics uniform is probably not like, oversized overalls, but it's at least something that she can work with a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
Now, do you mind that she's going to be ripping it up?
Well, I've got a couple, so I
Mhm.
can lose one.
Mhm.
And
It's
it can be your like messiest one if you want. It's just I have a vision.
It would be all new.
Would they?
it's I have two. You can use it. It's fine.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's consider it a a good gesture between the
Totally.
new
And I'll
relations.
pay you back. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Oh my god. Amazing.
So here's the thing. Do you have any implements in the car to work on this with?
Um. Hmm.
Because I can provide you an option if you don't.
I don't know if she'd have scissors with
Or
her.
a knife or anything on her, which would be hard to work with, but
Yeah. She.
okay. So when you're
I
sitting
don't
in
think
the
she would
car,
have packed any of that.
okay. So you're probably maybe looking at your Pinterest and
Mhm.
looking at the overalls or cover of whatever it is, trying to figure out what you want to do with it exactly. And that's when Christiana looks over at you and says, "Oh, I like that."
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a vibe.
And she actually unfurls his hand that it's still just she hasn't quite managed to correct it.
Oh, Christiana, are you about to be a designer?
And she kind of just like flexes. You can see these fleshy bone talon monstrosities just a moment ago you realize something. It wasn't just it was the flash of anger that brought them, but there was also a sense of sudden shame.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of flexes them a little bit. Show them where to cut.
You got it. Oh my god, amazing. And she'll show like exactly like where she wants her to lacerate the fabric.
Mm.
Cora tries to ensure not to make any quick movements.
Okay.
It's okay if it's rough and ready. I think that's part of it.
Oof, title of your sex tape.
I know, right?
And Christiana says that.
Poppy says, been there, done that.
Well, performance art indeed. Maybe Kate will have different opinions on it now. Okay. From Wormslow, you are immediately guided on to Whitefield and then a right onto the placid greenery of Harry S. Truman Parkway. We've been there already this evening. It takes you roughly 25 minutes at full highway speeds to even begin to see buildings as you sneak your way from the remoteness of Elysium's secluded grounds, further solidifying, perhaps, the intent of why it is housed where it is. Even as you begin to enter civilization, you can see the faintest outlines of Hillcrest Abbey Cemetery before you swiftly breeze through Blackshire Forest until finally, you loop off the highway onto what eventually becomes East Bay Street. You may or may not be passing a car parked in the brush from earlier. This is where you get your first full sight of a truly built up area. You roll by City Hall on your right before you take a sharp turn north, then another turn right, slowly plodding east on the cobblestones along historic River Street. For Poppy, you would clue in rather quickly to the revitalized, vibrant area your Primogen had mentioned to you as you drive by the planned Riverside District development. A rejuvenated industrial space turned into a hybrid of art and entertainment, only for Christiana to guide you all right past it. Directly across the street, you can see the older, more faded facades of buildings that likely have stood a century, if not more so. She directs Cora to a parking lot in front of a series of kitschy little gift shops. Getting out of the car, she's almost bouncing as she leads you across to the south side of the street. And importantly, she's put away the steak knives. The way she pokes her face into a window of the Dubs Public House might give you the impression she's about to walk in, but she leads you right past it, instead turning into the alleyway lit up with sparkly fairy lights linking two adjacent buildings. Nestled nearly up to the stone stairs, she leads you all through an opened iron gate, through a near hole-in-the-wall dive of Chuck's bar. And as soon as she enters, you hear a voice from the back of the room as a head sort of shoots up. Hey, you made it. What are you guys all doing?
What does this voice belong to?
Yeah.
Who?
Not one you know.
Okay. Is there a party happening of some
It's
sort?
just a bar scene.
Okay.
There's
okay.
nothing special. It's just a seedy little hole in the wall bar
Hmm.
that you get the impression this is a place where locals go. This doesn't look touristy. There's no of the sorts that Kate would have gone for in that first place, and no Kates to speak of.
Well, this is something. Uh, will this suit your needs? And she'll like kind of lean over towards Artem and Cora conspiratorially.
Should.
Mm.
I'm not the picky.
Oh, good, good. That's
Cora's gonna shrug, and then say very quietly to Poppy, as long as it doesn't cause any holes in my jacket, I think I'm all right.
fair.
It might look a little rustic and a little ramshackle and very divey, but you don't get the impression this is a rough place. It is a dive bar, but in a just comfortable, homey kind of way.
Is there any music playing?
I would say that what you're listening to right now,
Oh, well, that makes sense.
it's more of a grunge rock kind of thing, but
Okay,
kept
cool.
it's not quiet. You can
Mhm.
have a conversation, but it's also not going to be deafening.
Got it.
So if you needed to lean in and whisper to someone, you can and very easily have it hidden. But if you
Great.
wanted to talk at a reasonable volume, you could find a way. You don't have to shout yourself hoarse.
Got
Yeah, we can turn it up a little bit if you. No, that's fine.
it.
Thank you, Sam.
Our producer's like, yes, we're playing music. Dang it.
How dare.
Amazing.
Perfect.
Great.
You can turn it just a tad from where it is right now. Okay. Christiana has abandoned you lot for now. Less of a I'm escaping them and more a case of, oh, those are my friends. I'm gonna go say hi.
Mm-hmm. Do I happen to recognize any of her friends from Elysium?
Hard to say because you were a little busy
It's true.
and the crowd was thick with people and faces and viscera at one point. So unless they were directly talking to you, I'd say it would be a little harder to clock them. But you also get the impression she's a little cloistered. So that might weigh on your calculus a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you go over and say hi, or do you kind of keep to yourself?
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. Considering that Alden had charged you with being her chaperone, it probably wouldn't be good to just be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you all go with him, or is it just him?
Poppy kind of wants to give her space.
Mm.
Same feeling.
Yeah. I think
I
she'll
gotta
like
let-
try to find a two-top or something for Cora and her, maybe, if you want.
Sure, yeah. I was thinking maybe we could start a game of pool or something.
Yes. Great idea.
Okay. We'll come back to that in a second. For Artem, you go over and make yourself known.
Yeah.
There's two, but one's a little more reticent. Blonde jacket, one with a little higher collar, and he's kind of just elbows on the bar top. And he does turn to your direction, but he's not as open and jovial. He kind of nods in your direction, but it's a little like, okay, hi. But there's maybe a little something else there that you don't quite know yet.
Mm-hmm.
The other man with a slightly more wild tangle of darker hair, well-kept goatee, and again another perpetually like wet look leather jacket. Hi, man, I'm Harlan. And he reaches out and shakes your hand.
Yeah. Takes it. Artem.
Yeah, I saw last night, man. You had a rough go.
Was a messy one.
Yeah, well, it could have been a lot worse, I think.
Suppose.
Oh, and this
You're,
sourpuss over here. Yeah, this is Lewis.
Hello.
Chris, you didn't tell me you were going to be bringing friends. I would have gotten a table or something. Look, I didn't even know I was going to be coming out tonight, so like, don't worry about it. Why don't you go get your friends?
Sort of shrugs and looks over. Have you two started your pool game, or is there enough time to like beckon you?
It's up to them.
Well, are there people currently playing pool? Is it a crowded moment? Do we think?
It's not overcrowded, and there's more than one pool table, so you could be starting to rack up.
Yeah.
That makes sense. We haven't commenced, but we're
Mhm.
in the initial phases.
For sure.
I think Art seeing that Art's gonna be like, I'll let them start their game. Meet them later. So I'm new in town.
Oh yeah,
Other
no, that we
places.
kind of picked up on.
What sort of other places you have around here you should check out?
Well, it kind of depends what you're really into. I mean, this is kind of our kind of place. A little more low key, kind of fun. None of this overpriced bullshit. Just people getting to be people.
Sure. Honestly, I'm more into going out in the woods and staying there, but he sort of looks at Christiana. I don't know, maybe places that she'd go to then. What do you? He asks Christiana, what else do you like to go besides places like this?
The rave.
The rave. I heard about that.
Like, and she was kind of just leaning back from the bar, like she just like almost like an ear twitch.
Is that like an all the time thing?
And she's kind of pulling back with just a tall beer. And just, it's not all the time. It's just whenever she runs it, wherever she runs it. Sometimes it's out in the woods. And she looks at you and takes a long drink. Like she's basically just a bottomless pit and she's trying to fill it at the moment.
Well, I'm guessing Alden doesn't like to go over that. I suppose we can go whenever now, huh?
She kind of looks between the two other guys and she looks at you like, you want to go to that? I can't even get Harlan to go. Look, man, it's just not my scene. After about 15, 20 minutes, my eyes want to fucking froth.
I mean, I'll try anything once. What kind of what kind of stuff happens? I assume it's not just a, normal thing.
Hey, normal's what you make of it.
Mm.
And she's like, ugh. I mean, it's a party. Loud music, writhing bodies, substances. Young people having a good time, which that's a problem now.
I'll try anything once. Anyway,
Oh no, she's just like my guy.
good to meet you too. I'll sort of head back over to Cora Poppy.
Don't be a stranger now. And you kind of overhear as you're starting to walk with like, hey, go on the track later, or and that's kind of where your hearing fades off.
Why, yes, we are.
We'll see if you get there. Because here's the thing. It's 11 o'clock for me, and you guys still need to have a meal. So let's look at that real quick. So I assume you're going to rejoin your friends who, during this time, do you have any little banter while you're playing pool?
I think Poppy is probably talking about Christiana a little bit.
Okay, like in what way?
Well, she's like really hot, but like
Oh yeah.
cuckoo banana situation going on. Like we gotta watch out for her probably. And like that's why Artem's there. He's like her keeper.
It seems like maybe she's just a little stir crazy.
Yeah, which totally makes sense, but I feel like I don't know, I just don't want to get like caught in the claws, you know what I mean? And like what she did was gorgeous. On my like and thank you again for the donation of clothes. But like maybe she just needs to like channel it into something because I don't want to be caught in the tornado of the claws.
Yeah, me neither. She has friends though. She can't be that bad.
Yeah, clearly. And Poppy kind of like peers over at the bar and tries to like suss them out. I just I don't want to play babysitter while I'm here, to be honest. Not to be an asshole, but
I feel like if anything gets out of hand, Artem will let us know, right? So
yeah,
he's the first line of defense, and we're just back up.
great. I'm okay being
And in the
backup. I think
meantime,
that's fine.
have you spotted anyone interesting? And Cora's been kind of trying to keep her eyes out in the bar to see if anybody's been checking them out while they're playing pool.
Yeah, you got a few people who are kind of looking in your direction. It's a bit of a spectrum. As what may or may not have been conveyed is that historically this is a gay bar.
Oh, thank
Well,
goodness.
But it's also one of those that's just everybody's welcome
Mhm.
as long as you're being chill about shit.
Cool.
So you will find people hitting on every part of that spectrum. So you do find people who are just taking notice in a casual way, and others who are just like Poppy's doing now, just glasses down, eyes forward. Now here's
Yeah,
the real trick. Is Poppy just wearing her what we were establishing as bar clothes, or is she wearing her
I
like
think she
cobbled
totally
together?
changed in the car. I think
Okay.
she and it's probably like, jump cut back to that scene of just
Mhm.
kind of like the awkwardness of like maybe of everyone around her, but she's very fine changing in front of folks, being
Mhm.
like, "Is that all right? You don't mind? Okay, I'm gonna just put this on."
I imagine Christiana too is just like leaning against the seat, but like,
Good.
mm.
Poppy is glad. Great.
Like not even like covering her face. She's just like,
Very good. Yeah. No, I think Poppy is fully in her newly created outfit um for this. And when Cora mentions like if you see anybody interesting, Poppy
mhm.
will like very like purposefully like lean over the table for her next
I was
shot
gonna
and just kind
say
of like
because you were saying that
do
this is gonna
all
be
the angles.
cheeky and singed.
Yep. Yep. Cheeky and cinched. Uh yeah, so she's definitely trying to just track all
Mhm.
of that.
You get a few admirers.
Very good.
Um, Now, do you try to reel anyone in from a distance, or are you waiting for them to approach on their own?
Um, I think I think she's very much looking for somebody more on the femme side of gender,
Hmm.
to counteract perhaps some nasty memory
Mm.
at the moment. Yeah, so she's looking for the complete opposite of a person.
Ah, okay. Are we looking for dainty or just
Yeah, like dainty, feminine,
mm,
um, somebody who not I'm using the word on purpose, but is demure, like demure has like a vibe. Somebody who's maybe on the more soft spoken side, perhaps.
mm.
A less bold person.
So less bold? So does that mean you're going to approach them?
Yes.
Okay. So in the meantime, you do see whoever you walk up to. Okay. As you're walking up to that person, you do see a guy sort of being sort of just shoved by his two friends, very obviously college age, not smash drunk or anything like that, but just kind of being shoved in your direction, who's just nervous a little bit, but also like a little bit of liquid courage going on. And no, it's not the same guy from the other bar.
That would be crazy. He's in every scene.
Just getting destroyed by everyone this whole night. He's
Oh
just, I'm leaving
no.
town. But as he's sort of being urged by his friends in your direction, like, yeah, go talk to her. Come on, man, you're good, you're good. And I presume you just walk on by.
Yeah, it's totally that scene in the movie where the
Mhm.
person just walks to the person right behind them.
Yeah, he's just getting shoved in that direction. Just he's about to say something, hands coming like, hey, and you
Hmm.
just waft right by him as you walk up to someone maybe a little mousier looking who uh, more just like simple jeans, like a simple uh maybe not a sweater, but like a long sleeve top that she's rolled up to her elbows. Little mousy, um, not pigtails. What's like the double braid ponytail kind of thing. Just
Hmm.
that sort of ruddier brown. She's just, it seems like she was there with some people, but either she got left behind or she peeled off by herself. But she's got some rather fruity concoction that she's drinking. And there was a moment that you would have caught her just, well, she was demure. And then she kind of saw you as you're leaning and just going like, I hope this doesn't awaken anything in me, kind of that moment.
Oops, it will. Great.
Her Pinterest is all just art and cosplays of Rosie Riveter. She doesn't know why now.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
I've come here.
Excellent.
So you're approaching her.
Yeah, I do. Is she on the edge of things or kind of in the middle of the room?
More on the edge, kind of like the where the bar meets the wall. It's kind of in a bit of a
Amazing.
corner. And she does notice you, but she doesn't realize at first that you're walking towards her.
Mhm.
And as she's like, no, she's going to the bar. She's walking towards, no. There's just stages of cognitive dissonance that you're walking through.
Mhm.
And she kind of just like starts to straighten up and she's just like trying to like fix the pigtails, I guess, and just it's like she's just looks like she's gonna say hi, but she doesn't know how.
Mhm.
It's that moment of the cat that never caught the canary and now it has and doesn't know what to do with it.
Amazing.
Like she did not think this far ahead.
Mm. So I think kind of toying with that insecurity, Poppy is going to kind of like as she's approaching her, veer off, spin around, and put her back on the wall next to the bar, and just kind of not even looking over, just go, "Hi."
And she like slowly turns in your direction and she's trying not to like look down at any
Mhm.
point, but she's just hi.
How you doing?
Good, you?
Good. I've never been here before. Do you come here often?
Uh, Sometimes when I'm not at school.
Oh, you're a student.
A lot of students in here.
Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. And Poppy kind of like scoots closer by way of just kind of leaning to look.
Mhm.
What do you study?
Uh, and she gets a little bashful, like fine art history.
Oh, no way. Poppy actually very happy about that. That's wonderful. Do you have any like specific thing you're focusing on in art history? Those classes were my favorite when I took them.
So my art history is a little rough,
Oh
so
yeah.
I'm gonna gloss over this.
Sorry.
It's but you know that thought of a person is at their most prime, comfortable, attractive self when they're able to talk about something they are passionately interested in.
Hmm.
And you do see this meek, demure person kind of just light up like the
Yeah.
fairy lights outside in the alleyway. And
Yeah.
she's getting to talk about something, and I presume because of your background, you're actually actively engaging, asking her questions,
Yeah.
actually having an opinion to share to a point where you're maybe not getting debate, but just you're sharing an opinion on a given topic or topics where it's now just she's a little haughtier than she was
Hmm.
before, but in a much more like, oh, you like that one?
Hmm.
Why? And it's like there's an actual like she has forgotten for a moment the display and she's
Hmm.
talking to you as a person.
Yeah. Oh, I love that so much. Um, and Poppy, I think maybe having that thought of like seeing someone light up in that way, as the conversation kind of progresses, will remember those fairy lights in the alley
Mm-hmm.
and will kind of just like put a hand out to her and say, "Do you want to come with me?"
Out of character. The
Mhm.
amount of options running through my head,
Yep.
like I have an infinite drop down menu
You
in
think I
my
didn't
mind
think
right
of that,
now.
Graham?
Yeah. But I have to think about this by panicking young lady who
Mhm.
just, okay.
And when she takes her hand, she'll like turn her around in time to the music and then
Oh,
kind of put her behind her and just kind of have her follow her out of the bar.
there's this little bit of a, I assume you're like just a purposeful stride as you go.
Yes.
Like you're making a display of this.
Oh yeah.
She kind of has this like a little bit of a stagger as you're leading her along,
Yeah.
like just a little flummoxed, but like she's following, but she's just, oh God, this is happening.
Mhm.
This is happening right now. And it's like her brain is trying to catch up along with her feet. And there's this like grabbing her jacket before she loses track of it. And she seems to be looking over her shoulder at friends, and there's this sort of flushed look on her and this nervous squeak of a giggle. Much like when I asked Sam what's going through Max's head right now, because we hadn't had a reference in a while.
Great. How many times can we reference that poor man's death?
Yes.
Many. Many.
At least
many.
one more.
As many bullets as were in the gun.
Yes. And now we'll have another little death.
The petit moi. So now the alleyway is still going to have a bit of traffic.
Mm-hmm.
How do you go about this? There is the stairs that go up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Just kind of trying to find a bit of a secluded corner. Going through the alleyway is fine.
Mhm.
And I think like she'll fully like make a move in the alleyway just to be like, see, we're making out. This is lovely. And it is. But then I think moving towards a darker
Mhm.
spot would be wise.
I feel like you're also walking up those steps just to give her a good view and to really kind of hypnotize.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And as you go up the stairs and you round where it does get a little darker, a little shadowier, where most people aren't walking, and occasionally the only people that would come out would be the sort of this is the underside of the promenade. So it's only really staff entrances at this
Mhm.
point. And sometimes you might see people going by to getting to their car. But this isn't a high traffic area. Not
Mhm.
this late. You're able to find a little more of a shadowy place. Now, for this cute little college girl that you've abducted from the bar, you terrible human being, do you go for the little sip?
Yeah,
Okay.
little sip, obviously.
hmm
Maybe not obviously, but for me, for Poppy in this moment,
hmm
obviously.
So, like before, we're going to go with you got 3. And for Tabby as well, you got 3 off of that. Did you go for the second one as well? Did we gloss over that one, Tabby? You're muted.
I, yes, did go for the second one. I wasn't sure how
Okay.
much blood she needed at the
So you
start
would've-
anyway.
We'll say you're at top. Just wanted
Cool.
to do a quick bit of bookkeeping. Sorry. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So yeah, you have stolen this young girl's blush
Mhm.
in more ways than one. Now, how do you handle the aftercare of this?
So I think Poppy will place her carefully down on the stair and then kind of hurriedly go back in.
Now, it's important to say they're not all insta pass out kind of situations.
Oh, okay.
She
Yeah.
can
How
still
is her?
be,
What is her state? Yeah.
she's a little more languid,
Mm-hmm.
sinking against you, a little more wrapped up in you than maybe she was intending or knew she was capable of being.
Mm.
But she's
Okay.
still upright.
Okay. In that case, I'll bring her back into the bar.
Hmm. Are you kind
Um,
of hand in hand or
yeah, I think she'll grab a hand and or even around her waist to like really steady her. Um, and bring her.
in some ways it doesn't,
Mm,
in good ways. Like you've we need more than one manner.
that's
She's
fair.
like, because like, oh, like she just was expecting the handhold, and then you're like, No, honey, hip
Hmm.
to hip."
Yeah.
And she's leaning on you a little bit, but not in a oh my gosh, she's gonna fall kind of way. She's in a good place.
Good. Love that. Um,
As you lead her back down the stairs, do you get the idea to exchange numbers? Is this a one-off for you or you'd like to see this young lady again?
this is such a one-off for Poppy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you gave her a
Yeah.
thrill, and now she'll be telling
She's
people
gonna
about
make
that for a
really good
long time.
art. That's what
Mhm.
Poppy's telling herself. She's like, her art is gonna get way better than whatever the fuck it was.
Well, her color palette's maybe going to change a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, she'll bring her back in.
Hmm. You see her kind of like sheepishly actually try and give you her number.
Poppy will take it,
Hmm.
but it's not anything.
Ouch.
Well, but Poppy will pretend like it's something.
Hmm.
People pleasing doesn't die when you're turned into a vampire.
As you scuttle her off, she does go to see her friends, and she kind of gives you a few like trying not to like not waving or anything like that, but there's just like a little bit of eye contact, a little bit of blush, and just there's some giggles with her friends a little bit. Not like, oh my God, I totally just banged that girl, but just where did you go? Trying not to look in your direction, looking fully in your direction. And they're just,
Perfect.
oh, there's a little bit of cheek in more ways than one with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cora,
Hmm.
how are you going about this? Your
Yeah,
bait
I've
is
been
less
thinking about
obvious.
that. Well, once Poppy walks off, maybe I'll use that an excuse to try to join someone else's game.
Hmm.
Um, and go from there. Walk over to another pool table. Uh, say that I've lost my partner. See if I can get in.
Oh yeah, we're kind of uneven. Bill's here looking for another shooter. And they're like early 40s. And they're just here at the bar. They're not like how did Jeff Winger put it? Hungry monsters feasting for young flesh. They're at the bar.
Cool. If anything, maybe Cora's just gonna have a nice game of pool.
Mm,
But but yeah, she'll go ahead and start playing with these guys.
okay. Do you start chatting them up in any way? Do you
For sure, yeah. Ask if they're locals.
yeah, you get the impression they've been local for like 20, 30 years at least. Maybe not have grown up here, but formative here.
Ask
Um,
if is this your regular haunt? What other kind of places do you hang out at? Where do people go around here in Savannah? Like not just the tourists.
I mean, it depends what kind of what you're looking for. I mean, some of the locals like to go to Pinky's, one of the oldest bars in town, but uh, it kind of comes and goes on whether or not it's more divey or kind of kitschy looking. Um, don't ever go to the pirate bar. It's bullshit. Uh, some of the rooftop places are kind of nice if you're just kind of looking for a view. But
That view is
no,
always good.
yeah, like what kind of stuff you're looking for? This is Bill. Like the other two are kind of doing their shots, so
Okay, yeah.
he's a little dad bodish,
Okay,
a little bit of a graying beard, but like well kept, but just a beard.
yeah. Bobby.
No, that was Helena.
Oh, you said places with a view. That might be good. Since I'm new in town, it'd be nice to take in the scenery.
Yeah. Some of the old Civil War like forts, they're still standing. You got some pretty good views from there.
The old Civil War forts. Is that
Yeah.
something you're into?
No, not really. I mean, I like the site and everything, but don't really keep up with any of that. Like the reenactors fucking weird me out. Get
We don't
lost,
have
go
any,
home.
for obvious reasons, we don't have any reenactors back home.
I'm gonna step out of character for just a moment and think, is she meaning Italian or German there?
Why not both?
Because that gets dicey. Love that. Just back. Sorry, back home.
It's Italy.
How far back we talking? Because they've had some fun bits.
Okay, of course. If you go back to far enough, it gets interesting again.
Mm. So you just move here, or
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I kind of figured you're looking for places that locals go. You're looking to assimilate a little bit, I guess, right?
That's the hope, anyway.
Yeah, yeah. You find a lot of places like this is kind of where just folk go. There's like some nice bars, but they're real touristy. I mean, depends. Like, you looking for more rough? You looking for just a bar to sit down in? Because I like this place.
I can tell. It's got a good vibe. Interesting mix of people, too.
Mm-hmm. Did you notice the walls? And he kind of angles his head, and most surfaces seem to have a dollar bill glued, taped, stapled, nailed to the wall or any other surface. And they're all signed.
That's interesting.
Yeah, kind of a local tradition. Kind of started when nobody famous really walked in here, and that was great. So what people started to do with a tip was they would write their own name, doesn't matter who you are, on a dollar bill and just nail it to a wall.
Is yours up there someplace?
Yeah, but like 20 years ago, and he's looking around the room going like, where the did I put that? Is it even still up there? Is like just because you get the impression it's probably been phased out a few times. At some point, they just got to go like, that's a lot of money, literally on the walls. Let's refresh that, shall we? Probably due for another one at some point. I mean, hey, if you want to fit in and be a local, Put $1 on the wall. Come on, I'll show you a good spot.
Easy. All right, yeah, I'll follow.
Um, it's nowhere kind of seedy, but it's more just one of the slightly more alcovey spots where because it's a Thursday night, it's less packed. You can actually kind of get to a space without having to like crawl over anyone or ask them to move. And he goes, not many people use this one, and it's one of the booths that just at the moment isn't really occupied. And he's a little stout, and you kind of just see like just the thick arm kind of point. If you can probably just like stand up on the booth or the table and kind of just put one up there. If you got a gum or anything.
Yes. Yeah. Could you help me up there?
Oh yeah. And are you looking for him to kind of give you like the two hands under a boot kind of look, or just to steady you?
Yeah, just steady me as I get on over.
Okay. Yeah, he just helps you out as you require. Like he's not seeming like eager to reach. He's just there with his guys.
Excellent. uh, so Cora will actually go through the process of putting her name on $1 on the wall.
You would
Um,
find pens and markers all over the establishment exactly for this reason.
that's awesome. Uh, so yeah, she'll go ahead and do that. Um, you said it's a little alcovey here.
Mhm.
Would I be able to get close enough to him on the way back down to just take a sip?
Yeah, if you're quick about it.
Okay.
Like if you want to sort of like, oh no, I'm falling over. Oh, I've fallen over
Perfect.
again.
All right. Then yeah, we'll do it that way. You don't always need to have a beautiful connection with someone first. So, and he's been quite a gentleman.
Mhm. We're just gonna give him a thrill.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to be quick about that.
Hmm. Or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He might just be a good guy to know. Might be good to know Bill.
All I can hear in my head is Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill, Bill, Bill. Maybe. You don't know?
Yeah. Of course not super hungry. You just need to drink Bill immediately.
Hmm. So you're just gonna chat with him for a little bit?
Yeah, we're just gonna hang out.
Okay. Um, yeah, if you just want to chat with him for a while, kind of get to know who he is a little bit, if he tells you a little bit more about little bits and pieces of the city. Maybe nothing entirely relevant right now, but it seems like he at least knows what he's talking about a little bit. Doesn't seem like he's trying to impress. You asked him a couple of questions, like, yeah, okay, that.
Groovy.
Just a chill older dude he's just there to play pool. He's just there to be a dude. And
Yeah, I respect Bill's decision to just be there to be a dude.
yeah,
It's pretty rad.
the dude abides. So are you trying to get anything specific from him? Like, are you trying to change or exchange numbers, or you just
Yeah, at some point, maybe in
Mhm.
like a friendly sort of way.
Yeah, it's like I assume it's a case of I don't really know anybody. You seem to know what's going on. You've been really nice, that
Yeah,
kind of thing. Yeah, okay. It's like, oh yeah, cool. Yeah, whatever. Just he doesn't seem too eager. He doesn't seem like reticent. He's just, yeah, all right. Changes numbers. Easy peasy.
and then has Poppy come back at this point?
Well, she's somewhere else in the bar, but are you looking to nom on Bill or are you looking to let this fish go?
You know what? If we're still in the alcove, I guess I gotta get something to eat. Let's nom on Bill.
Bill, Bill, Bill.
Bill, Bill.
Okay. Because you're going to be doing this in the bar, there is going to be a roll.
Okay.
So we're going to go with Dex and Stealth. So we're going to do this at
Stealth.
6 because, you know, it's a
I do
bar.
have celery.
You have celery, so that'll add to your Dex. So for those that don't know, celerity is an enhancement to speed. Potence is an enhancement to your strength. Fortitude is for constitution. That would be the best way to think of it.
That makes more sense. I heard I have celery.
I
did
said that
too.
on purpose.
Is that on purpose?
And I was like, ooh. Crunchy.
Bill is crunchy. So it'll be a 6 because it's a bar, but people are kind of busy paying attention. And also, it's a bar. People are kind of making out. It's a kind of a divey place. It happens.
Mhm.
So if you're quick about it and you're not making a mess. So what are we getting? Now, I will say, if you want to expend a willpower ahead of the roll to have one auto success that cannot be removed by a critical failure.
And willpower is received back by taking a nice breather.
Taking a nice long rest, effectively.
Okay.
At least you'll trickle it back. You don't necessarily get it back all in one go.
Gotcha.
So it can still be expended if you're being careless.
Okay. So Dex and stealth for me.
And celerity.
Unwillpowered. Yes, with a little bit of celery salt on the rim
Mhm.
is
On Bill's room. Got it.
oh no. No. It's 4 dice for me.
Mhm.
So why not? We're doing cool vampire stuff. I'll expend willpower.
Mhm. So that's one auto success.
All
So
right.
roll your 4 dice.
Okay, what was my number to hit?
6 or higher.
Okay, well, I have 2 of these lovely moon critical success style symbols here, explosions.
Okay, re-roll those.
And
It's
and I have a
unnecessary.
6.
Okay.
Yeah.
No ones?
No ones, and another explosion at the finale.
So it doesn't re-roll after that. It's
Okay,
just
so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, plus my bonus, 5 successes ultimately.
I'm sorry, we were looking for 10. I'm so sorry. Bill is repulsed. No, tell me how you're doing this. You've been talking this whole time. You went away from your original plan of you were gonna be
Yeah.
dropping down. How are you trying to get this?
Um,
Because you get the impression he's not there for any kind of seduction. He's not trying to seduce. He's just dad bod chilling out.
for sure. I'll move over to his side of the booth in the alcove and I'll pull out my phone and I will on Google Maps start pointing out some places that he's been talking to me about. And so as we're both leaning in close to it, I will go for a chomp.
Okay. Now, the kiss, as we've been describing it, is very pleasurable.
Mhm.
And since the interaction with you was not in any way sensuous, it's not going to have that lingering sensation of a good time was had. You're still going to have a very pleasant feeling.
Oh, it's interesting that it works this way. I like this.
But what you can do in order to sell the image that Nothing salacious happened, but you have to account for the fact that he is losing at least a few minutes of time.
Hmm.
So maybe as part of your stealth is the foresight to have ordered a pitcher, or at least to grabbed an empty pitcher and 2 glasses from another table.
Well, I'm glad our storyteller is smarter than me,
Mm.
because
And that
that
way you could
sounds
just
like a great little bit of subterfuge there.
yeah. So it's just some bars and pitchers and glasses get left out all the time in between passes. And that way you've just been having a good time talking about this, that, and the other thing, trading stories. And at some point he kind of just went like, oh, that hit me a lot more than it usually does. The fuck did he book in this tonight?
I
Did he go
think
to
we
the good
maybe
stuff?
I think maybe we went through more than we expected.
Oh. Give me a minute.
You're not the DD, are you?
Oh, not anymore. Bill's gonna take a load off. Oh, that's a nice table. And he kind of just like leans his head down a little bit and just feels the cold on his forehead.
Oh,
And he's just, oh, I'm just gonna be here for a bit. And just without looking at me, like, nice meeting you.
good to meet you too, Bill.
And I'm assuming you are filtering back into the main body of the bar.
Yeah, I'll head back into the main area. If Christiana and her crew are there, that's where I will go.
Okay. Now, Artem.
Oh God.
There's a nice juicy bill. Actually, I'd like to point something
He's tapped out.
Yeah, I'd like to point something out here. Cora put a bill on the wall and a bill on the table.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
did.
Bills all around.
I'm making it rain.
Bills just everywhere today.
And drink your bill. I don't know. Put it on my bill.
I'm paying for Poppy's bill here, apparently, too.
Bill me.
So-
Sorry. Not sponsored.
So, Artem,
Oh man.
this is a
Artem.
very new environment for you in a lot of ways. How sensory overloaded are you right now, for one thing?
Probably pretty darn.
Mhm.
He might retreat to a corner at some point and just try to like get used to all the noise. It's a lot.
Mhm.
As he sort of he hasn't done this very many times, but as he's sort of collecting himself, he does look around, see if anyone looking at the big weird guy in the corner.
Big weird guy. Oh, that's what I meant. I'm sorry.
Not Bill.
It's like, what? Bill's had a bad night as it is. No, he hasn't. He's had a
Bill's
great night.
charming. He's not a weird guy.
Everybody knows Bill. And they will find you if something happens to him. Now,
To know.
nobody is paying you any negative attention. You get a couple of glances in the same way that anybody would. The only glance you might get is because you're a little like Slav tracksuit star. Are you wearing the actual sweater at this point, or are you down to like the undershirt?
Probably just down to the undershirt at this
Yeah,
point.
did you leave it in the car or?
Yeah, I left it in the car.
Okay, so here's the thing.
This is very informal.
Yeah. So he's a tall, fairly buff dude showing off the guns.
Is this an open carry state?
For your sake, it better be. Because everyone is invited to the gun show whether or not they want to go. And as you're looking around, you see. Actually, you would see a few scatterings paying attention to the, 6'30" wall of mass that you are. Chiseled marble. Whether or not you realize it is a different story. Sleeveless, kind of being the quiet, brooding. And you do get one or two people, men and women, kind of looking in your direction, because it's that kind of bar. And there's a few that are kind of trying to work up a little bit of courage, and you kind of get the impression there's one slightly smarmy looking guy who's kind of like, I'm going to climb that like a tree. And he starts to stride over. But you do have options if you wanted to pursue other things.
So I think the ideal would be if he catches the eye of a woman in plaid who looks like she maybe likes to get into a little bit of trouble.
You see Christiana. You actually do see her, and she is kind of carousing around on somebody's shoulders at the moment.
Good for her.
It's Bill. No.
Oh no, Bill's already, but he's gonna die.
He's gonna die great though.
We're gonna kill Bill.
Where's Bill? But if you can find some plaid laden lady.
Okay. So manages to catch her eye, give her a wink, and then he's going to look around for a bottle or two that would be easy to steal.
Now, here's the question. Do you have a capacity for stealing?
Well,
what's your dex and
that's
stealth?
Okay, yes. It's 6.
Okay. Do you have celerity on top of that or no?
I do not.
Okay. Now, same thing that I told Cora earlier. If you want to roll for this, you can use an auto success if you want to do that route and just bypass the roll at this point because you only really need the one.
Yeah.
Actually, no. No, you wouldn't. There's a lot of eyes. They'd be paying attention to things getting stolen because the only place that there's a bottle is behind the bar. You're basically gonna have to reach over and just hope no one sees you.
Okay. Can't just grab something from somebody's table when they're not paying attention. I guess
Depends
that
what
makes
you're
sense.
looking for. If you want to be a trash person and grab somebody's drink that's already going, or do you want to impress someone by going, "Okay, I got a bottle. You want to go sit?"
Let's
that
try
your
it.
angle?
Let's try that second
Okay.
one.
So let's try that. So you're gonna go with Dex Stealth. Are you gonna use a willpower to get an auto success or no? Because the DC is gonna be 7.
Yeah.
Because this is a little bold.
Yeah, let's go for an auto success.
Okay, so that's the one. So 7 or above.
Yeah, 7 or above. Let me just get my die real quick. You never sent me that app. Figured that out after.
Yeah, I gotta find out how to rip the APK off my phone.
That's fine.
Goddamn.
Hold on.
So while this is going on, I will say the reason why Poppy didn't have to roll for this is because she did this in a very hidden place. Same thing with Kate. She took the guy to a room where no one else is paying attention, and he was already there to get a little, how's your father? So that was unnecessary. This is you guys doing things in public.
Well, Graham, I got 5 successes and one of them's a 10.
So re-roll the 10. Let's see how
Mm-hmm.
swift you are. Because now it's not about whether or not you succeeded, it's how well you succeeded.
That's an 8.
Okay.
Yo, guys, rolling on Google, this is cheating.
How dare you succeed better than me?
Hey, you hung out with Bill. You succeeded at life.
Hmm.
So
It's,
true.
it's true. It's true.
So true,
I am
Bastard.
also friends with Bill now, so
I
You should
mean,
introduce us all to Bill.
yeah. Bill is the anchor of this universe. It's fine.
I'm at an overpass.
With Bill, it's weird.
He's everywhere.
My ass is everywhere. So now it's a case of like, how many did you get? It's
1 auto, 5, and then +1.
so 7. Is that what I'm thinking of?
Yes.
So okay, you got your pick. You can go for top shelf. I'm not sure Artem really has a full understanding of all those.
Probably not.
I feel like top shelf means something slightly different where he's from.
Yeah. He probably literally thinks it's like the higher up it is on the shelf, the better.
In some ways, that's not untrue.
Yeah.
Depending which bar you're in, and actually depending on the bar, even the bottom shelf is quite top shelf. So you probably reach for a nice bottle. Are you look for you? Are you looking for vodka?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay. So it's a unopened, full, bar-sized bottle of vodka that you kind of just slink off with just this like Johnny Bravo flex. If anybody was paying attention, it's more a case of they were in awe by the musculature rather than what you were doing, and it was just, I'm gonna let them have it. Cost of doing sexy, sexy business. Now, you were in a way already kind of half flirting at the girl in the plaid shirt, tied around her waist like it's the mid 90s. Black tank top, blonde hair that might make you think of someone, but not braided.
Nobody's perfect.
Oh, we'll have to unpack that one later.
Oh, she's not either.
Mhm. As you are, because you had gotten her attention before you did this.
Hmm.
So she was watching.
Hmm. That's the plan.
Uh-huh. And she's just leaning back against a railing and just, oh, you son of a bitch, you actually did it.
Yeah. So I'll walk over to her,
Mhm.
uh, you know, bottle in hand, and
Mm.
just say, "What's your name?"
Julia. But she's not like reaching for your hand. She's sort of moving sort of the flap of the like plaid that's wrapped around her waist over the bottle. Why don't we do proper introductions outside? You glorious bastard.
Works for me.
There's a part of me that almost thinks that you're sort of like tag teaming with Poppy on the way out.
Actually, I do want to tag team with Cora because I want to get the keys to the car.
Do you let him have the keys to the car?
I would guard those pretty preciously, but
Mm.
you know what? I've been a pretty decent friend to all tonight, so why not?
Oh shoot, where are my keys? Here we go.
Mm. Does it mean you just sort of like breeze by? Keys? Keys.
Perfect. Yeah, we can just do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like a little high five.
I'll give him a wink.
As you get out into the alleyway, because I assume that's where this is going, it's steps start to quicken as you, I would imagine, break into a little conspiratorial run, like you're just getting away with something.
Got to get out before they notice, right?
She's just laughing as she runs with you. There's nothing much to say at that point. I assume you get her to the rover.
Mm-hmm. I assume the windows are tinted, and this is going to be
Now, okay, so we
fairly
gotta
easy.
handle this a little What's the intent here?
The intent is to just have a little nibble and then maybe ask for her number.
Okay. I imagine his display before he even stole the bottle was already kind of putting her on notice a little bit. And I like to think that the image we're going to fade out on tonight is they may be tinted, but they're going full steam addle Titanic handprint. Or rather, double hand.
Blood everywhere.
At least it's
what-
contained.
Good thing you have a phone. But actually, do you go for the little drink?
Yeah, just a little drink.
Okay. But I assume it's a little bit of, you're not really getting anything out of drinking the shots, but you're probably trading back and forth. And at some points, it's less about, hey, I'm not here to talk. We're down to have fun, whatever it is. And that's going to be the image we're going to fade out on tonight.
Can I leave with one text message?
Sure.
Okay. Kate, who has been she's changed for the racetrack, has been looking at her phone and is kind of hoping that Jean will message her before she has to go be social at the racetrack. And since she has not gotten a text or call yet, we'll let out a deep sigh and then text Poppy. Just, does anybody need a ride to the track?
Oh my god. What a beautiful day.
Is she actually, now here's the question. Because you're asking as does anybody need a ride? Are you sending it directly to her or are you starting the group chat?
Damn it, I'm the one that starts the group chat.
Gotcha.
Got him.
Lovely.
So all four of you would get a text.
Artem ignores his for now.
Now we know what's going through Artem's head right now. As we were
Nothing.
fading out on the scenes, we're going to go around the table. What's Tabby thinking as she's driving into the night? I assume, were you already heading towards the track or do you change your mind about going to there now?
Tabby pulls out her phone, and it's kind of surreal having a cell phone. Like, there's definitely, instead of the immediate like notification buzz answer, it's more of a like, the fuck was that type of thing at first, and then recognizing, oh, it's my new phone. Checking it, seeing the message. She asks Lila, was there anything else that you had planned tonight?
I was looking to be it somewhere later.
Cool. If you wouldn't mind taking me anywhere near the racetrack,
That's
I
where
think I
I'm
might as well
going.
keep. Sweet.
Which
Then
means we're going.
we're going.
Oh, I got such fun things to show you. Okay, we're gonna have a great time.
Yes, please.
You didn't think I built
And
this just for going A to B, did you? Look at this fucking thing. It goes vroom vroom, motherfucker.
I'm so excited. Oh, you're competing. Oh my god.
Nosferatu.
I don't get what that emphasized, but cool.
She kind of smushes your face. Just how dare you not get the joke?
Let's go, motherfucker.
You get the impression that if she could have Bond-esque ejection seats, yours would have been pressed. It still might.
Who the hell knows? Well, Tabby, with a full system and a pretty good night so far, settles in as the car goes vroom. Not as vroom as it will go soon, though.
Mm. Kate, other than the text, what's been going through your mind the last little bit?
She almost doesn't know what to do with herself. Minus 2 nights off after witnessing her first execution. She has been working even before she was turned.
Mhm.
And to not have a job lined up and being at the mercy of waiting on someone else, she doesn't know how to process that. It's making her anxious. But while Sokolov warned that they could be a liability, they could also be a low-level in to a wide variety of clans. And building relationships now can set up the board far in the future for deals and opportunities.
That's my fresh-faced venture, everyone.
I feel like I just got a gold star.
You just haven't had it taken away.
Well, that does imply that she's had it.
At least polishing one.
The fun grading score of starting at the top and you can only lose points.
Well, that is
That's
the
the
risk
way to
of
think of
being
it.
the Ventru, yes.
Tara gets her own gold star for that comment.
Oh no, I'm a venturer.
Wish.
The worst fate.
Poppy, what's going on with you?
Poppy's not great. I think she gets the text while she's like in a bathroom stall, kind of like pushed up as far against the wall as she can, just trying to stop crying and not being able to. Yeah, I think she is feeling all sorts of just regret and evilness and all of these things that she places on another person. And she's realized that she might just be like the person she wishes she wasn't. But when she gets the text, that like kind of snaps her out of it, I think. And she's able to kind of calm down her feelings at least enough to get herself looking a little less disheveled, maybe just splashing water on her face.
She'd have to splash a lot of water on her face because she doesn't cry tears anymore.
Oh yeah, that's true. Ah, God, fuck. Okay, yeah, she's probably going out damn spot to her face, Lady Macbeth style.
Her makeup's ruined if she used any.
Yeah,
She's gonna need a minute to recalibrate.
yeah. She'll probably be kind of frantically putting it back on, and even at one point, kind of in a silly manner, like looking in the mirror, being like, "You got this. You got this, bitch. You got this." Yeah.
Poppy
Okay.
gonna ask for a ride.
Huh?
Is Poppy gonna ask for a ride?
Oh yeah, of course she is. Oh yeah, after she's like all put together, maybe halfway through, she'll be like, yes, it can come by the it's the Chuck bar, Chuck.
Chuck's
It
bar.
was something Chuck bar. Okay. But yeah, she'll send, yes, please come by the Chuck bar. Smiley face emoji, but it's the one where it's like a closed smile and blushing smiley face.
Abby responds, I'll be there, or I'll meet you there.
Okay. Cora.
Cora is feeling quite pleased with herself. She's been able to call home and have just instant positive feelings talking to those familiar voices that are so important to her. And she's feeling like she's managing to make connections here quickly that she doesn't know if they're going to last, but at least they're starting out strong. And through Bill, she's already put a piece of herself here in Savannah. She's planted a little flag, you know. She's doing what she set out to do and start creating something for herself here in this new space. So it's nice.
Good. Now I know Artem's presently busy, but
Phone vibrates.
eventually the little vodka fueled tryst would end.
Mm-hmm.
Would he get her number, or is this a one-off?
Yeah, you get her number.
Whether or not she ever responds to your text, you don't know, but
That's true.
you do get it, you do see her off. But what's going through your mind now?
Some that was fun. Some thinking about Christiana. Did
You did
he?
leave her alone in the bar.
I did leave her alone in the bar. Did he catch it when she seemed like she was feeling sort of guilty about her little clawed outburst?
If you were paying attention,
Yeah, well,
because you were sitting up front, would you have been paying attention after, like the blades came out? Would you have
yeah.
been
So
watching her afterwards?
100%.
Okay, you would have caught that then.
Okay. Basically, thinking about trying to get to the bottom of that and wondering if he might actually have some things to like teach this person that might help them.
Well, maybe that can be part of a conversation you have next time. So on that note, as we pull back from each individual set of thoughts, as everyone begins to funnel their way over the bridge towards Hutchinson Island, the camera will start to pan low over the bridge as each car passes over the apex towards the next chapter of our story. And we'll fade out from there, folks. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I know it's been a longer episode. Thank you to Sam for running all the production. You glorious he-beast, you. Thank you all so much. See you next week.